Live from Maverik Center in West Valley City, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the home opener for the final hunt as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. We're going to have a ton of fun, not only tonight, but all season long as the Grizzlies are back at Maverik Center for the final season. It's game 5 of 72, and for the Grizzlies, they had a winning road trip. They went 2-1-1, picking up 5 out of a possible 8 standings points. The Grizzlies got a big-time 5-0 victory over Idaho last night as Reed Lebster had 3 goals and 1 assist, and Dylan Wells had a 46-save shutout. Idaho outshot Utah 46-31, but Dylan Wells was a brick wall in net all game long. And the Grizzlies also got 3 assists from Aiden Hansen-Bucata, who was making his Grizzlies debut, and it was his second pro game. Neil Shea had 2 assists. And the Grizzlies also got goals from Tyler Gratton, the new Grizzlies captain, as well as Jack Ricketts, who now has a goal in 2 of his last 3 games. Looks like we got a pretty good crowd here on a Saturday night, filling up at Maverik Center, as Friday night was Idaho's home opener, and the Grizzlies spoiled the party with a big 5-0 victory. Dylan Wells got the victory last night, and he's going to be in net once again for the Grizzlies. Wells will make his 3rd appearance in a Utah uniform. He spent parts of 2 seasons with the Idaho Steelheads, and he had a record of 9-0 in an Idaho uniform. And so far this season, Wells is 1-0-1. He has saved 79 of 82. Well, both teams are still warming up. Grizzlies in a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. Idaho's in a black jersey, white numbers, white lettering in the back, and a little bit of silver on the top and bottom of the jersey. Well, there's a lot of Grizzlies players making their Maverik Center debut tonight. Dylan Wells had been here at Maverik Center as a member of the visiting team. He's going to make his Maverik Center debut as a Grizzly. Colby Enns is making his Grizzlies home debut, as is Aiden Hansen-Bucata in just his second pro game as a Grizzly and 3rd pro game overall. Noah Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet, is at Maverik Center for the first time. John Gillott, the first-year pro, is also making his Maverik Center debut. Danny Genev, the rookie out of Penn State, he's going to be in there as well. Jack Ricketts making his home debut, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Ricketts can do on the Maverik Center ice. After all, he had 3 outstanding years in terms of goal scoring at the college level. I think Grizzlies fans are going to love what they see from Christian Felton, who's an outstanding skater. He's a second-year pro, currently listed as a rookie as he played 20 games last season, 13 with Abbotsford in the American Hockey League, and then 7 games with the Kalamazoo Wings. Tyler Gratton's making his Maverik Center debut. It was unveiled yesterday that he is wearing the captain's C for the Grizzlies this season. Gratton, a native of Pottstown, Pennsylvania, and he's a fun one to watch. Watch out for him in front of the net. He's got a point in 2 straight games, and he scored Utah's first goal, which actually turned out to be the game winner, 2:42 into the first period on a great pass from Neil Shea. Ty Voigt's also making his Maverik Center debut. He's got 2 goals in 4 games this season. Obviously, there's quite a few players that Grizzlies fans are familiar with. Neil Shea obviously scored 19 goals in 36 games. He had some big ones as he had 2 game winners in the month of February in overtime. Griffin Ness made a strong impression towards the end of last season. He's going to be in there for the Grizzlies. And how about Reed Lebster? 19 goals last season. He picked up his first hat trick as a pro last night with the 3 goals and 1 assist. The 4 points that Lebster had last night matched a career high as he had 2 goals and 2 assists at Tulsa on March 1st. Adam Berg's back in the Grizzlies lineup for the 3rd straight season. And Luke Manning, who's been a consistent force for the Grizzlies over the last year and a half, he'll be in there. He's got 1 assist and is a +1 so far on the campaign. Evan Friesen made his home debut at Maverik Center late last season, and Friesen is still looking for his first point of the year, but he's a guy that has got a lot of scoring potential as he led the WHL's Wenatchee Wild in goals and points last season. Well, the crowd's still filing in here to Maverik Center, and we're going to have a ton of fun this evening as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. We're going to have a lot of the opening night pomp and circumstance. We're also going to remember the great Kevin Bruder, and it's certainly sad and unfortunate. This is the first home game since he passed away on May 11th. So we're going to remember Kevin Bruder during the pregame report, and we'll also talk some hockey as Grizzlies and Steelheads will do battle for the 2nd of 7 meetings this season. Well, if you're in the West Valley area, come on out and join us. We're going to have a ton of fun this evening as the Grizzlies will take on the Steelheads. Face-off is in about 20 minutes from now. When we return to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll talk some hockey. We'll go over It's Been Hot, and we'll talk about Dylan Wells' 46-save shutout. It's been a while since the Grizzlies have had a clean sheet go their way. We're in business on a Saturday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-off in about 20 minutes from now or so as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads for the second time this weekend. Utah got a big 5-0 victory as Dylan Wells had a 46-save shutout. It was actually the Grizzlies' first shutout since New Year's Eve 2023, heading into the 2024 calendar year, as Dante Januzzi had 32 saves in Utah's 1-0 victory over the Oilers. It was the Grizzlies' second shutout that season. Earlier on a Sunday afternoon, it was Garrett Metcalf in the first weekend of the 2023-24 season that had a shutout. And Januzzi had the second shutout that season. And, once we rang in 2024, I'm pretty sure Grizzlies fans thought that we'd have another shutout earlier than what they did. But Dylan Wells with 46 saves. Idaho dominated the shot count in each of the three periods. But Dylan Wells just made one big save after another. Obviously, Idaho fans will talk about that moment late in the first period where the Grizzlies did get away with a bit of a quick whistle as Wells was bobbling a puck. But nevertheless, Dylan Wells, the former Steelhead, made all the saves that he needed to make. This is the fifth different ECHL team that Wells has played on. He's also appeared with games in 5 different American Hockey League teams, and Dylan Wells did live the dream as he appeared in one NHL game with the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2022-23 season. Wells is a former 5th-round pick of the 2016 NHL draft by the Edmonton Oilers, a native of Ontario, 27 years old, 6'2", 190 pounds, and he is as solid a guy as it comes. Dryden McKay is going to be the backup tonight. McKay has had 2 pretty solid outings with the Grizzlies so far this season, so Utah's got a pretty good 1-2 combination in net with Wells and Dryden McKay. And Wells, obviously, 46-save shutout, but it was just good enough for the second stars. Reed Lebster dominated the performance last night. He scored a big goal late in the first period from the left wing, and then the second period, one of the great individual efforts you'll ever see. Face-off was in the Grizzlies zone. It went between the 2 Idaho players up top. Reed Lebster just, you talk about splitting a double team, just kind of split both guys, got in front, got the puck, and then made a nice move on Nolan Meyer to find the back of the net. And then the third period, there's about 15 seconds left, just kind of innocently threw a puck towards the net. And I think the big question once the puck went in was whether Luke Manning got a piece of it or not. Manning and Lebster talked it over, and Luke Manning let him know that he didn't touch it. And so Reed Lebster picked up his third of the game, and it was the Grizzlies' first hat trick since Neil Shea scored 3 goals here at Maverik Center on December 21st, 2024, as the Grizzlies defeated the Tahoe Night Monsters 6-4. That was one of the stranger hat tricks as he scored the empty netter to give Utah a 6-4 lead. And with that, there was no hats thrown on the ice. I'd wondered if the hat trick tradition had come to an end, because usually, you get to see a guy who scores third of the game, and you see hundreds of hats being thrown onto the ice, but that wasn't the case with Neil Shea when he got the hat trick last season against Tahoe. And the Grizzlies certainly needed that as they were coming off a 14-game losing streak. Other big news for the Grizzlies, obviously, is the new captain, Tyler Gratton, who's going to be leading the Grizzlies this season. Gratton, a native of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. He's wearing number 59. He led the Reading Royals with 20 goals last season. 2 years ago, he was the captain at Arizona State University, so he does have experience as the team leader. Grattan does have a point in 2 straight games. He has 1 goal and 1 assist, and he is a +3 for Utah. And he's got the size to get in front of the net. 6'2", 187 pounds. He's probably a little bit stronger than that. Tyler Grattan's going to make a big impact for the Grizzlies this season. And he's been a solid team leader so far for John Buchanan's crew. And Grizzlies are obviously here on home ice for the first time, looking for a very similar type of effort. But as we mentioned in the first segment, a lot of players are not very familiar with the surroundings here at Maverik Center. In fact, there's probably more people on the Idaho side who have experience at Maverik Center than do the Grizzlies. Obviously, the only ones for Utah are some of the returning players. Dryden McKay did come here as a member of the visiting team, but most of the newcomers are new to the ECHL in period. So they haven't played at Maverik Center before. Grizzlies will be a little bit shorthanded tonight as they're going with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen. Garrett Pike is out of town as he went to a funeral service, and so he's not in there. And Avery Winslow picked up an upper body injury late in last night's game, and Winslow is also out of the Grizzlies lineup. When we come back, we will go over the lineups for both teams. We'll also have the services. We will also go down to Mark Larson if we can and listen to the announcement of the starting lineups. And obviously, we're going to honor and remember the great Kevin Bruder. If you're in the West Valley area, come on out and join us. We got some good seats available. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Face-off is in about, I'd say, 13 minutes from now. You're tuned in to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-off in about 10 minutes from now as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Let's go over the lineup for both teams. First for the visiting Steelheads, who have a record of 2-2 this season. They're led by longtime head coach Everett Sheen. The associate coach is Keenan Kelly, and the team president is Eric Trapp. Getting the start in net's going to be Nolan Meyer. He's making his 4th appearance this season. Meyer's got a record of 2-1 with a 4.67 goals against average and an .844 save percentage. Meyer is 6 feet and 172 pounds. The backup goaltender, you know him well, it's Jay Stevens, the host of the Utah Puck Report, and he's been covering hockey here in the Salt Lake Valley for a long, long time. Stevens will be wearing number 68. He made 1 appearance for the Grizzlies back in the 2016-2017 season. And by the time his outing got deleted from YouTube, it had a couple million views. So we'll see what happens here tonight. Nolan Meyer is going to be the starter in net, and the E-Bug Jay Stevens will be the backup. Idaho's going with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight. For Idaho, getting the start is going to be Tommy Bergsland. Bergsland has 1 goal and 4 assists in 4 games. He actually leads the Steelheads in scoring, and he's going to be paired up with Matt Anderson, who has 1 assist in 4 games. Anderson, the former Toledo Walleye and South Carolina Stingray, is 6 feet and 195 pounds. He's got a ton of speed. So Bergsland and Anderson will get the start defensively. We will also see Samuel Jardine paired up with Charlie Dodaro, and Aiden Pershuk is going to be paired up with Connor Punnett, who has an NHL contract with the Dallas Stars. So starting defensive pairing once again is Matt Anderson and Tommy Bergslund. Starting forwards for the Steelheads include Francisco Arcuri, with 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 games. He's a talented athlete, 6'1", 200 pounds, and he's got outstanding speed and playmaking ability. Nick Ports will also be in there. He's got 1 assist in 3 games. Ports is 5'11" and 180 pounds. And Chris Dodaro, the brother of Charlie Dodaro, is also in the starting lineup. Dodaro did not play last night, but he was a star in the preseason against Utah. In fact, he was the number 1 star of a game in Boise in the preseason where he scored 2 goals. Chris Dodaro is 5'9" and 179 pounds. He has 2 assists in 2 games this season. Other forwards for the Steelheads include the captain, Nick Canati, and he's going to be lined up with Jade Miller and Mason Nevers. We also see Liam Malmquist on the 3rd forward line as he's lined up with Jordan Steinmetz and Caleb Pearson. Pearson had the puck on his stick quite a bit in last night's game. Watch out for him. The 4th forward line is Angus McDonald. It does look like McDonald, but apparently it's McDonnell. Angus McDonnell making his 2nd pro appearance. He is 20 years old. He's going to be lined up with Brendan Hoffman, who had 25 goals last season, and Robbie Holmes, who's a big 6'2", 202-pound forward who likes to get out in front of the net. That's the 12 forwards for Idaho tonight, with the starters once again being Chris Dodaro with Nick Ports and Francisco Arcuri. Now the lineup for the homestanding Utah Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan, and the assistant coaches are Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilly. Skilly is going to be on the Grizzlies bench tonight. He's a former first-round NHL draft pick by the Chicago Blackhawks. In fact, he appeared in some games for the Chicago Blackhawks during their 2009-2010 Stanley Cup season. Getting the start in net, we had believed it was going to be Dylan Wells. I'd been told it was Dylan Wells, but you know what? Looks like there's a change in plan, as Dryden McKay is going to be the starting goaltender for the Grizzlies. McKay's making his 3rd appearance. He has a record of 1-1 with a .923 save percentage and 2.50 goals against average. So originally, earlier in the day, I was told it was going to be Dylan Wells, but apparently Dryden McKay is going to get the start in net for your Utah Grizzlies. Utah is rolling with 5 defensemen and 11 forwards this evening. The starting defensive pairing is Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Salem has 1 assist in 4 games, and he's been solid for the Grizzlies so far this year. And Noah Gansky is a big 6'7", 209-pound defenseman. He skates pretty well. He was a plus performer for Fort Wayne over the last couple of years. So Salem and Gansky are the starting defensive pairing. We also see Colby Enns making his 4th appearance this year, and he's going to be out there with Aiden Hansen-Bukata and Christian Felton. As the Grizzlies are going to be led on the ice by Dryden McKay. He's going to be wearing number 29. He's the 2022 Hobie Baker Award winner. As the Grizzlies tonight are wearing a white jersey, black numbers, and professional green trim. So Salem and Gansky are the starting defensive pairing. Starting forwards are Reed Lebster, last night's hero, who had 3 goals and 1 assist. Lebster is a +5 on the season to lead the Grizzlies. Danny Geneyev, the Penn State product, first-year pro, 5'5", 150 pounds. He has 1 assist in 4 games. And the captain, Tyler Gratton, wearing number 59. He has 1 goal and 1 assist in 4 games. We're going to see if we can pick up. We're going to try something new here. We're going to see if we can pick up the announcement of the starting lineups from PA announcer Mark Larson. Frisbee's at center ice, waving the flag. We had mentioned Lebster, Geneyev, and Gratton. The other forwards for the Grizzlies tonight will be Evan Friesen, as well as Luke Manning. Adam Bergs once again back for his 2nd appearance. Neil Shea had 2 assists last night. He has 3 on the season. John Jalot, Jack Ricketts, Griffin Ness, and Ty Voigt. Let's hear the lineups from Mark Larson if we can. That's a starting lineup for the Grizzlies. Dryden McKay is in net with Tyler Gratton, Reed Lepster, and Danny Janayev, with the defensive pairing of Noah Gansky and Luke Salem. Head coaches John Mechanic, Ryan Anderson, and Jack Skilly are the assistant coaches.
The Utah Grizzlies experienced unimaginable heartbreak with the sudden passing of our beloved president and general manager, Kevin Burger. Kevin and his family left Utah in 1997 to prepare for the opening of this very building. He was instrumental in turning this small land into a venue that was built on the center stage of the Winter Olympics. Kevin was proudly named Utah's first general manager, and he worked tirelessly to establish the Utah Grizzlies and Maverik Center as the cornerstone of our West LA community. In 2005, Kevin Burger took on an initial role when David Elmore trusted him with the responsibility of being president and CEO of our Utah Grizzlies. He led the organization's transition to the ECHL and ultimately found stability for over 20 years as one of the league's flagship organizations. An honor that would be recognized as 2021, he was voted by his peers to take over the spirit of the ECHL Board of Governors. Not only did Kevin's involvement in our hockey community make a tremendous impact, he generously gave his time and talent to dozens of charities and organizations throughout the valley for nearly 30 years. He was an outstanding father, an incredible friend, and an inspirational leader. Our community is stronger because of him, and he will be deeply missed. The entirety of the ECHL joins us as we dedicate this final season of Grizzlies hockey to Kevin Burger and his loving wife and children. We now ask that you please join us in the our heads and silence as we remember the life and legacy of Kevin Burger. Now, please.
There's no doubt that Kevin Burger is deeply missed by everybody in the Grizzlies community. Now we rise for our national anthem.
Welcome to the Ice American Academy, performing Beyond West America.
God Bless America here at Maverik Center. And now we have our national anthem, which is performed by Sunset Junior High. And they are hanging out in section 125.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads in the second of a two-game home-and-home. Last night, the Grizzlies got a big 5-0 victory at Idaho Central Arena as Reed Lebster was the star of all stars. He had 3 goals and 1 assist. Dylan Wells had a 46-save shutout. Aiden Hansen-Bucata had 3 assists in his Grizzlies debut, and Neil Shea had 2 assists. And the Grizzlies also got goals from Tyler Gratton and Jack Ricketts. Idaho did win the shot advantage, 46-31, but it was the Grizzlies that came away with a 5-goal victory. Wells was amazing last night, and Dryden McKay is looking for a similar type effort here this evening. McKay's making his Grizzlies Maverik Center debut. He was at Maverik Center a couple years ago as a member of the Newfoundland Growlers. And now the family of Kevin Bruder, Allison, Emily, and Joel, Kevin's children, are going to drop the puck here before play. And there's no doubt that we miss Kevin Bruder deeply. And if you've read what's happened to the Grizzlies over the past 5 months or so, we miss him more than ever. And the impact that he has made on this franchise over so many years, it's just undeniable. He was an outstanding man, and he is definitely missed. A great tribute to Kevin Bruder before the game. Mark Larson, the PA announcer, did an outstanding job. And we're now set for hockey, as we got a good crowd here on opening night as the Grizzlies begin their final hunt for a Kelly Cup. Grisby's at center ice, the longtime mascot. He's got the number 95 in the back of his white sweater, 95 signifying the year the Grizzlies came to the Salt Lake Valley, 1995, and in their first season here in the Salt Lake Valley playing at Delta Center, the Grizzlies won a Turner Cup, winning the finals in 4 games over the Orlando Solar Bears. Once again, the starting defensive pairing for the Grizzlies is Luke Salem and Noah Gansky, and the forwards are Reed Lebster, Danny Janaev, and Tyler Gratton. For Idaho, they're going with Nolan Meyer in net for the second straight game. Tommy Bergslund, who has 1 goal and 4 assists so far in 4 games this season. He's going to be paired up with Matt Anderson, the forwards, Francisco Arcuri, Nick Ports, and Chris Dodaro. Referee tonight is Hunter Mottinger. He's the same referee that we had in Boise last night. Linesmen are Craig Peterson and Andrew Collins. Grizzlies will skate from right to left as we see it from high atop section 114. In your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. Idaho skating from left to right. Janaev will take the draw, and he wins as it goes towards Luke Salem, and we're underway here at Maverik Center. As Gansky gets the puck, and he will spin it all the way around the boards. Gratton gets over there about the same time as he gets a shoulder check on Bergslund. Janaev fires towards the net from the left point, and it's sticked away. Sharp angle shot by Lebster. Meyer got a piece of it. Janaev will kick it back behind Idaho's net as Anderson pushes Gratton along the boards. as Idaho will bounce it towards Chris Dodaro, the brother of Charlie Dodaro. This will get to Bergsland, who will cross center ice, and he spins it along the wall. As our Curry will pitch it back to Ports behind Utah's net. Big-time hit delivered by Gansky on Ports. This thing could get pretty physical tonight as action back deep in the Steelhead zone. Charlie Dodaro wearing number 81. He's slightly bigger. In fact, he's quite a bit bigger than his brother Chris Dodaro. Right wing feed goes to Pearson. Caleb Pearson had the puck on his stick quite a bit last night, and he'll fire it in deep. Pearson, his first full season as a pro. McKay behind his net gets it towards Christian Felton in his first shift on the Maverik Center ice, wearing number 42, left side. Pearson, righty shot, and that one's blocked away by the shoulder of Dryden McKay. Now the puck goes back over to Pearson. He's on the right point. He spins it back up top as Jardine will fire it off the near wall. Running it down is Hayden Hansen-Bucata in his first shift here at Maverik Center. Second game with the Grizzlies, third as a pro. Had 3 assists last night. He's an assist machine. Puck goes back behind Utah's net. Felton runs it down. Felton skates towards the far corner, spins around to avoid a check. He gets it back to Hansen-Bucata, and he'll wing it out towards the left side. It's off of Berg's stick. Berg chasing after it, and it's icing on Utah as we get our first whistle a minute and a half into the game. Neither team's taken a shot yet. Who's your pick to click? Who's going to have a big game for the Grizzlies tonight? I don't know. There's a lot of good choices. I'm going to go with Luke Manning. Manning's familiar with the Maverik Center ice. He's had some success against the Steelheads in years past, and I think Luke Manning's going to have a big one tonight. He's my pick to click. Who do you think is going to be the player of the game? And if you're an Idaho fan, who's the Steelhead that's going to get the job done? Jade Miller's been very familiar with this, with the Maverik Center ice and with the Grizzlies in particular. Fourth-year pro. Punt it, high slot. That one's blocked away by McKay, who lost his stick. Boy, Connor Punnett can certainly blast it, and he's got an NHL contract with Dallas. He's got a ton of natural talent. Out towards the near corner, big-time hit. Felton delivering on Mason Nevers. Nevers 5'11" and 180 pounds. Nick Canati, the Idaho captain, will bounce one from one corner to the other as it spins towards the left point. Lefty shot, that's blocked away. That was taken by Aiden Hershuk. Grizzlies cross center ice. Salem over the offensive line. Steelheads chase after him. Right side, backhand shot. Kick saved by Meyer as ricocheted off his right pad. Puck goes back to center ice. Lebster will drop it back to Friesen at center ice. Friesen at neutral ice. He gets belted by Punnett. Punnett's a big guy at 6'2", 205 pounds, and he's every bit of it. Evan Friesen avoids Miller's check. Miller, a fourth-year Steelhead. Hershuk trying to yank it away. 2-on-2 scrum over in the far corner. We play 2.5 minutes, still no score. Grizzlies trying to center it to Jalot. Ricochets off the stick onto Meyer, who covers up as we get a whistle with 17:31 left in the first. As both teams have one shot on goal. With the Grizzlies going with an odd number of defensemen tonight, they're going to see some odd defensive pairings. So Hansen-Bucata is now paired up with Noah Gansky. And one of the fastest forward lines in the league is on the ice for Utah right now, and Neil Shea, Luke Manning, and Ty Voigt. Manning will take the draw as fans are still filing in here in the home opener. Idaho wins the faceoff, and they drop it towards number 19, Matt Anderson. Not to be confused with the Matt Anderson that used to play for the Detroit Tigers 2 decades ago. Brendan Hoffman at center ice. He gets a shoulder check from Luke Manning. Hoffman tries to force it in as the Steelhead goes down. Puck back at center ice. Anderson will get it towards Holmes. Robbie's his first name. He's a big forward at 6'2", 202 pounds. He likes to play in front of the net. Gansky towards Voigt. Voigt will bounce it to center ice as Bergsland gets hit by Shea near the Idaho bench. He's taking the puck is Angus McDonnell. It's not McDonald, as according to the broadcaster Justin Russo. McDonnell in his second pro game. As McDonnell dumps it in, he comes off the ice. Grizzlies will switch things up as well. We played 3.5 minutes, still no score. Both teams have one shot. As Felton back towards the far side, he'll get it behind his net for Luke Salem. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options tonight. We appreciate you choosing the Grizzlies this evening. Over to Jernayev off his stick. Puck goes back to Neutrice. Felton fires it towards the net from Neutrice. It's kicked away by Myers' right pad. Jernayev gets hit by Charlie Dodaro. Jernayev was in training camp with the Steelheads as he'll throw it back towards the near circle. And it's taken away by Francisco Arcuri, who will fire it off the near wall. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Lebster gets to Salem off the board. Salem overskates it. Nick Ports enters from the left wing. Ports skates in, toe drag, righty shot, and that's blocked by Felton. Puck goes up top, Punnett. They'll get it to the right side. Chris Dodaro moves it towards Hershuk, back towards Arcuri, right side shot and a score. Arcuri with a great pass out in front, and Idaho leads 1-0. Arcuri fed it to Nick Ports. Ports gets his first goal of the season. And the Steelheads draw first blood. Oh, that's a kicking motion. That's the kicking motion. They're going to have to take a look at it. It looked like it was kicked in by Port, soccer style. Oh, they're going to have to take a look at that. As they showed the replay, our Curry fed one out in front. It was actually a similar type play as to how Grattan scored. Port's played soccer, and that's not necessarily allowed when it's going into the back of the net. So they're going to have to take a look at it with the video replay. As they're going to look at the tablet, there's a certain brand of tablet they're going to have to look at. Tyler Grattan and Nick Canati, the two captains, talk things over. It did look like a kicking motion from Ports, and it was a distinct enough kicking motion that if the referee spots it on the tablet as they go to video replay, it should be no goal. If the goal does stand, it's Ports' first of the year with our Curry and Aiden Hershuk getting the assist. Fans applaud as the announcement was made that they're going to video replay. Based on the look we saw, it looked like a kicking motion. So we'll see what they come up with. Referee tonight, Hunter Mottinger. A lot of power plays on both sides last night. Grizzlies were 1 for 8 on the power play. Idaho is 0 for 8. As they play, the waiting is the hardest part, and it definitely is here. Fans still filing in here. Kind of a LA type of late arriving crowd. Maybe that's what LA stands for. As Hunter Mottinger looking it over on the tablet. And the replay they showed here at center ice distinctively showed that it looked like a kicking motion from Ports. And now they're going to bring the third official in. As it looked like Hunter Mottinger and Andrew Collins are looking at the tablet. They asked Craig Peterson, who might be from IT. Let's see. Now referee and both linesmen talk things over. Maybe the tablet's not working. I'm not sure. And if that's the case, Steelheads might have caught a break. And Idaho fans would say that they were owed one based on the quick whistle late in the first period on what they believed was an Idaho goal late in the first period when it was a 2-0 Grizzlies lead. 15:55 left in the first period. Both teams have 2 shots. Long conversation here with Mottinger and the two linesmen. They looked at the tablet for a little bit. If the tablet's not working, you almost wonder. They want to make sure they get it right. Every fan, they show the replay, and every fan's pointing up to the video board and saying, kick. And it was definitely a kick. He played soccer with his left skate. Whether the officials, whether the tablet's working and whether the officials can look at it, I don't know if the officials have the capability to look up at the video board and take a look themselves, or if they have to see the replay specifically on that tablet. But that'd be the only way they can properly go to video replay. If it is no goal, I'm not sure Idaho has much of an argument because obviously the right call would have been made. Referee comes out and he signals no goal. Everett Sheen puts both palms in the air. Nick Canati talking it over. It looks like the referee made the right call. So it stays a scoreless game. Draws give me the Grizzlies zone. First goal Grizzlies had last night, it was kind of shaped from one circle, got to the goal line. This was a very similar type of play there. And Ports couldn't get a stick down, so he just did what he could with the skate and hoped that he was able to get away with it. But we're still scoreless with 15:55 left in the first. Now the referee is going to talk with Everett Sheen, the Idaho head coach. Sheen's been around quite some time with Idaho. He replaced Neil Graham many years ago. John Buchanan at center ice. It almost looks like he's trying to overhear what's being said. Buchanan in front of the bench near is Captain Tyler Grattan. Conversation's a long one. Good thing I didn't have dinner plans for after the game. Good thing I'm also not going to a bar after the game. Well, I'm going to miss last call, but 1 a.m. here at this point. At some point, you just got to play hockey. As Hunter Mottinger, he's interested in continuing his monologue and conversation with Everett Sheen. Somebody, I think, requested a filibuster. I think we're going to be here a while. And now the referee's giving John Buchanan, if he gives them equal time, we might have to take a 3-minute commercial break. We won't miss any hockey action at that point. As, well, based on the replay, it looked like it was pretty simple. I don't know if the replay wasn't working And if somehow they came to a conclusion after talking it over that one of them saw a kicking motion, and that's why the goal was disallowed. Either way, we're scoreless, and the referee says, let's play hockey. Geez, I could have had a six-pack and been sober by the time we got through with this replay. Idaho wins the draw. We're 4 minutes in, still no score, and they've taken the shot away from Port, so Grizzlies have a 2-1 advantage. Pearson out to center ice. It's taken by Berg. Berg gets cut off by Liam Malmquist, number 25, who's a speedy forward. As punt it back towards Malmquist. Malmquist gets it kicked away by Colby Enns, making his Maverik Center debut. Enns was a scratch last night. As Pike and Winslow are out of the lineup, Grizzlies going with 5D as Berg chips it in. As Meyer behind his net gets it to punt it, who skates around Idaho's net to the far side. Grizzlies skate from right to left during the period. Idaho from left to right. Long range feed. Goes tape to tape. Malmquist gets the hop. Pearson back to Malmquist. Shot to score. The give and go. Pearson, Malmquist. Pearson back to Malmquist. And Liam Malmquist gives Idaho a 1-0 lead. Boy, long range feed went 3/4 of the length of the ice. And Malmquist, once he got it, was behind Utah's defense. Malmquist to Pearson, back to Malmquist, and he roofed it over the right shoulder of Dryden McKay. So it's 1-0 Idaho. Time of goal, 4:43 in. Jade Miller will take the draw against Evan Friesen. Friesen's out there with Shea and John Gillot. Gillot making his Maverik Center debut, the Holy Cross product. As Idaho wins the faceoff, they're looking for some revenge last night. They wobble it in. McCabe will watch as icing is called on Idaho. So the goal was scored 4:43 in. Malmquist gets his third goal of the year. Caleb Pearson with his first assist. And Aiden Hershuk, who got the assist, he made the long-range pass that connected to Malmquist. And Hershuk gets his second assist of the campaign. So draw's going to be over in the left circle as Evan Friesen will take it. We played 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Friesen sporting a mustache, kind of a red mustache, a little bit like what you'd see from Lanny McDonald. Puck goes back to center ice. Lanny McDonald, the former Calgary Flames legend. As Gillot dumps it in, Friesen chasing after it. Meyer behind his net. We'll spin it back to Canadi. Canadi over to Miller. As Miller will dash it towards the Utah blue line. Grizzlies run it down. Long-range pass to center ice. Gillot got a piece of it, and so did Tommy Bergslund. Bergslund will race after it, and Gillot will skate to the bench at the end of a shift. As Bergslund gets to neutralize, crosses center, and no bouncing off the glove of Colby Enns. Enns in his 5th pro game, 4th as a Grizzly. He was in 1 game with Iowa at the end of last year. Puck around the boards, as Charlie Dodaro will bounce it to the right corner. Now Jade Miller moves it back to the left side. Bergslund gets it. He's got good size. Puck back behind Utah's net. The fans take up a "Let's Go Grizzlies" chant. Enns will get it back towards Ty Voigt. Voigt will saucer it towards Neil Shea, dashed away by Charlie Dodaro. Dodaro will get it back towards Mason Nevers. Steelheads spread the ice there at their blue line. Hot pass towards McDonnell. And bounced off his stick. Robbie Holmes gets around Bucata. Holmes back to the right side. He gets belted by Enns. Enns holds up Holmes as the Steelheads get it back to Charlie Dodaro. Dangles back and forth to the right point. Gets to Hoffman. Hoffman tried to fire to the net. Blocked by Hanson Bucata. Centering pass. Shot kick save by McKay. And the Grizzlies clear it out. Boy, Idaho got the centering pass out in front of the crease. McKay made a big save to keep it a 1-0 game. 6.5 minutes in. Idaho leads 1-0. Idaho will helicopter into the right corner. Puck hops off the ice twice before ricocheting off the wall. As Hoffman delivers a push on Felton. 2-on-2 scrum. Lebster in the area. Lebster comes out with a puck. Last night's hero gets ahead to center ice. Janayev will get it to Grattan. Grattan races after it. He fires a backhand shot, saved by Meyer. He was kind of handcuffed a little bit, but he's able to cover up in the crease. Timeout on the ice. 13:05 is the time remaining as Idaho leads 1-0 on Liam Malmquist's 3rd goal of the season. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
13:05 left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0 as Leah Malmquist and Kayla Pearson played catch back and forth, and then Malmquist found the back of the net. Draws game in the Steelhead zone. Both teams have 3 shots. Danny Janaev will take the drives out there with Grattan and Lebster. And the defensive pairings, Christian Felton and Noah Gansky. All 5 defensemen are going to play key minutes. We've been skating 5-on-5 this whole time. Gansky gets it as Grizzlies won the draw. Lebster around the net, stops on a dime. He's a good skater. As Lebster gets it toward Janaev, he tried a backhand attempt. That's blocked away by Hershuk. Hershuk will get it ahead as the puck hit the opposite center ice. Gansky strides after it. As Gansky looks over his right shoulder, he gets the puck over to Janaev, who one-hand knifes it to Grattan. Grattan skates around the center ice logo, now down the middle of the ice. Chips to the Lebster. Lebster to the middle of the ice for Felton to take a righty shot. Kick save by Meyer. Boy, Felton with a pretty good look. He's got 1 goal this season. He scored last Sunday in Atlanta. Punt it over to the right side. He'll drop it to the middle of the ice. Ports with a shot. He scores. Nick Ports points to the goal line and says this one counts, and it's now 2-0 Idaho. Remember, Ports scored the goal that was disallowed with the kicking motion. It's 2-0 Steelheads. 7.5 minutes in. Well, good passing by the Steelheads. As Punta had the puck on the right side, got to Ports. Ports just outside the right circle. With a quick-looking wrist shot. That found the far post. Stick side past McKay. Looked like McKay might have not had great vision on it as he had a few bodies in front of him. Ports with the goal, punt it. And Chris Dodaro with the assist. And for Chris Dodaro, that's his 3rd assist, and this is his 3rd game of the season. As Matt Anderson with the puck. He gets belted by Jack Ricketts. Griffin Ness gets cut off. Puck goes back over towards Pearson. Pearson will bounce one across near the scores table at center ice. Steinmetz dumps it in. He collides with Jack Ricketts. And behind the net, Hanson Buchanan gets a good shoulder check from Malmquist. Puck goes towards the right corner. Malmquist feeds up top. Bergslund across to Anderson. Anderson with the lefty shot. Saved by McKay. Rebound goes towards the left corner. Ness pushes it to center ice. Taking it to Jack Ricketts. He's got 2 goals in his last 3 games. Ricketts skates around Idaho's net as the Grizzlies switched up around him. Ricketts drops it in the left point for Gansky, but is pushed out to center ice by Liam Malmquist. Ricketts dumps it back in as he collides with Bergslund. Bergslund is 6'3" and 185 pounds. He gets the puck. Bergslund's been a strong addition to Idaho. He'll slice it towards the Steelheads bench. Getting it off the boards is Steinmetz, and he'll bounce it in. McKay behind his net will drift it to Gansky. And when Gansky dangles back and forth, skates in the middle of the ice. He's now at neutral ice, so pushed is right for Enns. And Enns will saucer it in as the puck skips off the ice twice before ricocheting off the boards. Charlie Dodaro out to center ice to Nevers. He gets cut off on a good play by Luke Salem. Boy, Salem's been a strong addition this season. 2nd full season as a pro. As Jalot got a piece of it at neutral ice, no icing. Steelheads back deep in their own zone. Kanani with the puck. He feeds it to the corner. Jalot gets knocked down as he collided with Samuel Jardine. As Jalot laying on the ice, 2-on-2 scramble. Kanani looks nearby. Jalot back to his feet. Grattan gets the puck. East to the right point. Across to Salem. Salem, toe drag gets around one still. It takes a lefty shot. Saved by Meyer. Salem gets the back right side. Shot to score! Save that puck, DJ McFarland. As John Jalot gets his first pro goal. And the Grizzlies get on the board halfway through the first period. And Luke Salem made sure to pick up the puck. Boy, great pass out in front. The play was made by Salem. That's one John Jalot's going to remember for a long, long time. Salem got around the net, got to the right side for Jalot. And Jalot went stick side past Nolan Meyer. Last season, Jalot had 7 goals in 37 games at Holy Cross University. In 4 years at Holy Cross, he had 15 goals. And John Jalot becomes the 3rd different Grizzlies player to score his first professional goal. Jalot with the goal, Salem and Tyler Grattan with the assist. And with that, Grattan now has a 3-game point scoring streak. 10:40 is the time remaining first period. And you'll love to see that. A first-year pro, Jalot's been outstanding. Grizzlies have quite a bit of forward depth. They're going with 11 forwards tonight, and they can all play. Draw at center ice, won by Idaho as Connor Punnett will get it towards Holmes, who backhands it in. Gansky runs it down. Hoffman tried to light him up from behind. As the puck goes back towards Neil Shea, he'll sauce for Voigt. Voigt dangles, crosses center ice, and he'll skip it in. Shea chasing after it, Punnett in the area. Punnett gets there a stride ahead of Shea. As the Steelheads racing out to center ice is Hoffman. Before he got sent to center ice, he lost it as Voigt was on the back check. Voigt trying to get to the puck. It's jabbed away by Hershuk, and the Grizzlies are offside with 10-12 left in the first period. So we mentioned it's the third time this season the Grizzlies scored his first pro goal. Last Saturday, it was Jack Ricketts scoring his first pro goal against the Atlanta Gladiators. And then the next day, Christian Felton, 17:58 into the second period, scored his first pro goal. Ricketts scored once again last night, as did Tyler Gratton, the second-year pro. And Reed Webster, also in his second season as a pro, scored all the goals for Utah. Idaho crosses center ice. Anderson will wobble it in. He chases after it, but couldn't get around the big body of Christian Felton. Puck goes back to Bergslund. As Bergslund feeds it to the right corner, Holmes will toss it back to the spot he vacated. Felton is shadowing Angus McDonnell. As Hoffman behind his net trying to kick it out in front. It's taken away by Enns, who will force it towards the right corner. As Enns will bounce it to the middle of the ice. Webster tried to corral it, and it bounced over his stick. Anderson gets it in deeper in the Grizzlies zone. McDonnell over to the right corner, the 20-year-old trying to get it up top, and it's taken away by Gratton. As Gratton will fire it towards the Steelheads bench, and Felton will sweep it in as the Grizzlies make a full line change. 9:23 on the moving clock, first period. Idaho leads 2-1. As our Curry dumps it in, he's got a good size-speed ratio. As Hanson Bukata gets held up by Chris Dodaro. Chris is the smaller of the two Dodaro brothers. Griffin Ness looking nearby, 2-on-2 scrum as Bukata and Salem hold their ground. Salem loses his balance. Ness comes up with the puck. As he'll get towards Adam Berg, who powers it past Charlie Dodaro. Berg tried to chase after it, but it's taken away by Samuel Jardine, the 6'1", 205-pound defenseman. As Chris Dodaro will leave it for Ports, who's had a good game so far. Ports with one goal, and he also had one disallowed. Skates around Utah's net as he drops it for Charlie Dodaro in the right corner. As Dodaro gets held up by Berg, and Berg, he takes the puck. Berg, a third-year Grizzly, also has some time with Cincinnati in this league and was in the EIHL to start last season. Idaho dancing around. Our Curry will fire it off the end boards. Ports gets knifed away by Bukata. Both guys wear number 20. Puck up top. Punnett gets towards the left side. One-time tap goes wide. That was taken by our Curry. The Steelheads have done a good job getting the puck deep in the Grizzly zone on occasion tonight. Utah will wobble it out to center ice as the puck spins around. Run down by Jade Miller. Grizzlies make a full line change. Miller with a long-range feed. He got redirected at neutral ice as Pearson tried to hit Gansky in the back, and it was Pearson that crashed himself along the glass. At center ice, it's pushed in by Evan Friesen. Friesen trying to hustle after the puck. Hershuk gets there first. As the Steelheads, all big-time hit delivered by the captain, Tyler Gratton. As Friesen will backhand it in. Chasing after it's John Jalot, who's got to be on cloud 9 after scoring his first pro goal. 15 goals with Holy Cross over a 2-year stretch. As Friesen nearby with Felton. Felton will nudge it in. Punnett gets around Friesen. He's an outstanding skater to go along with a good 6'2" frame. Grizzlies bounce it back in. 12.5 minutes in. Idaho leads 2-1. Grizzlies have led the shot count 6-5. It's been pretty even throughout. Home opener here at Maverik Center. 5th game of the regular season for Utah. They picked up 5 out of 8 standings points in the first road trip as Pearson will fly it in. Bukata over to Voigt. As Voigt will drop it for Manning. Manning lays it for Shea over the line. Shea skates towards the left goal line, now around the net. Bergslund shadowing him. Shea gets up top to Salem. Salem on the backhand covers it up. Now it's taken away by Nick Canati. Canati gets cut off by Gansky. Canati left side lefty shot, and it goes wide. As Gansky did a good job staying stride for stride with the speedy Nick Canati. Up top for Bergslund. Idaho in the attack zone. He fires the righty shot, saved by McKay. And a great job by Luke Salem as the puck was trickling out of the crease. And Salem just kind of nudged the puck back to McKay's left pad. And McKay was able to cover up. Boy, one Grizzly I've been impressed with in particular has been Luke Salem. He's just made some great plays with the puck and without the puck. He's won the 50-50 pucks on many occasions. But what can you say? Luke Salem has done an outstanding job, and this is his second stint as a Grizzly. He got his feet wet in pro hockey with Utah, playing in 2 games at the end of the 2023-24 season. He was actually here at Maverik Center as a member of the visiting team in November. He was playing with the Indy Fuel. And then shortly after that, he was traded from Indy to Kalamazoo, where he finished up the season. Idaho wins the offense's own draw. Kanadi back around the boards. A stick goes breaking, and that was Jade Miller right off the draw. Miller will take a lot of the key faceoffs for Idaho. Miller runs it down before his time with Idaho. He was with the South Carolina Stingrays, where he appeared in all 72 games in the 2021-22 season. As Idaho walks in, Anderson drops it off. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Bergson over to Kanadi. He twirls, and he'll fire towards McKay wide. As he missed the net stick side. Puck goes back towards Enns. It looked like Enns got hit awkwardly towards the boards, but he got back to his feet. Enns wanted a penalty, none to be had. Referee looks like they're going to let them play a little bit more. There's only one ref tonight, and it's Hunter Mottinger. Gansky dangles back and forth. He's in the Grizzly zone as Idaho makes a line change. Gansky surveys as well. Now Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet, twirls around. Now he pivots, stops. Now he accelerates towards neutral ice, so bounce it to Felton. Felton trying to get around Holmes. Instead, got it to Ness, but pass was incomplete, and icing is on the Grizzlies. As Ness was near the Steelheads bench, Felton got it off the boards. No, they were trying to call timeout. No timeout, as there is no timeout under 6 after an icing call. So with that, we play on. Most buildings in this league will take 3 media timeouts, under 14, under 10, and under 6. And here at Maverik Center, it's just 2 timeouts per period, under 14 and under 6. Craig Peterson, the local linesman, says, my bad, and he'll drop it again. Griffin Ness will take the draw against Brendan Hoffman. Idaho leads 2-1. 5:40 is the time remaining first period. Both teams have taken 6 shots. Idaho scored 2 goals in the span of about 3 minutes. Malmquist scored 4:43 in, and then Nick Ports found the back of the net 7:30 in. Grizzlies responded with a goal a minute 40 later as Gallant scored 9:10 into the first period. Up top to Charlie Dodaro. His righty shot is gloved by McKay, about knee high. He holds on. 5:38 is the time remaining, first period. Now we got a timeout presented by Coca-Cola as Idaho leads Utah 2-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Idaho leads 2-1. 5:38 left in the first period. This is the ultimate rubber match for the Grizzlies. It's the 31st and final home opener in team history. Utah has 15 wins in home openers and 15 losses. Officially, their record is 15-13-0-2 in home openers all time. Grizzlies were 5-1 in the IHL era in home openers. They outscored opponents 26-18 in that stretch. In the AHL era, 1-2-0-1 was the Grizzlies' record in home openers. In the ECHL era, Grizzlies' home opener record is 9-10-0-1. Draws in the Grizzlies zone, and it's won by Idaho. 5.5 minutes left in the first period as Hoffman gets bounced along the boards, and Berg dumps it in and chases after it. As Ness in the area, as Jardine will throw it around his net from one corner to the other, as Berg delivers a hit on Charlie Dodaro. As the puck goes towards Hoffman, who had a big year last year. Hoffman, a good size-speed ratio. He gets jammed away by Felton. Out to center iceberg, and he'll throw it in. Ricketts collides with Punnett. Ricketts trying to locate the puck. Jardine in the area. Jardine and Ricketts each throw their arms at each other, and Idaho comes out with the puck as Ricketts and Berg will come off the ice. Grizzlies will switch up forwards. John Gillott's on there. He's got good speed. Punting crosses the center red line. He'll whip it around the boards as the puck kind of takes a rough ride towards the far wing wall. Idaho reverses it back towards Punnett, who keeps it in the right point. Punnett fires it onto the net and out of play. He's in the offensive zone, so no delay of game, as Punnett just tried to lift it towards the top of the glass and reverse the puck back to the left wing, but got too much air under it. And the fan in row 1 of section 119 will come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. Looks like photographer Rob Church was near where the puck was. Andrew Collins will give DJ McFarland a broken stick. McFarland, the first-year head equipment manager of the Grizzlies. He was an assistant equipment manager for Jackson Hibbard over the last 2 years. Hibbard's now with the Tahoe Night Monsters. Grizzlies win the draw. Gillott off his stick. As the puck bounces, Punnett kind of plays hacky sack with his stick a couple times. As the puck wobbles in the air about 10 feet, gloved and dropped by Chris Dodaro. He steps over the offensive line. Salem pushes him. Dodaro reverses it back to Punnett, and it glances off his stick. Punnett will run it down. Actually, he'll let Hershuk play the puck. Grizzlies will switch up forwards again. The captain, Tyler Gratton's out there. Neil Shea takes it away. As Shea dangles back and forth. Shea, left side, will take a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Punnett. Shea gets it back, skates around Idaho's net, over to Felton down the middle, righty shot, and a blocker saved by Meyer, and it flies out of play off the protective netting. But pretty good look there by the Grizzlies, as Felton's been an outstanding offensive performer so far. So a fan in row 1 comes away with a souvenir. He's got a Grisby jersey with the Colorado Avalanche colors on it. It's the 8th season that the Grizzlies have been an affiliate with the Colorado Avalanche, and it's certainly been a great partnership over the years. Idaho has been a longtime affiliate of the Dallas Stars, despite the fact that the Allen Americans play like a half-hour drive away from Dallas. Idaho gets the puck. Pearson crosses center ice. Caleb's his first name. He was active last night. Gets around Hanson Bukata. Now around the net. Bukata on the back check as Pearson got frustrated and threw a shoulder at him. Bergslund over in the high slot. Gets it back to the left wing. Lefty shot goes wide. That was taken by Liam Malmquist, who already has 1 goal tonight. As Pearson has Voigt in a bear hug. Actually, it's more of a headlock as he breaks free. Grizzlies get it, and they'll sauce it all the way to center ice. Puck got air under it. Gloved and dropped by Bergslund. Bergslund skies it out of play off the protective netting. Second time a Steelhead defenseman has done that recently. 3:26 is left in the first period. Idaho leads 2-1. Draw's going to be at center ice. So in terms of home openers, we mentioned before, this is the ultimate rubber match. Do the Grizzlies have a winning record in home openers, or do they have a losing record? I guess you could say with the 2 shootout losses, people would say, regardless of what happens tonight, it'd be a winning record. We've played 30 home openers, a couple of them at Delta Center, and since the summer of 1997, Grizzlies have been playing here at Maverik Center. Grizzlies have won just as many as they've lost. A basic win-loss record of 15-15 in home openers. Face-off won by Idaho as they skate from left to right here in the period. Grizz from right to left. As Jardine gets the puck, kind of did his best Barry Bonds impersonation. Kind of was down on the handle, almost choked up on the stick quite a bit with his hands a little bit lower onto the stick. Salem battles with Nevers. Lepster in the area, dancing back and forth. He gets pushed to the wall by Jardine. Gratton delivers a shoulder check on Jardine. Jardine slashes. Gratton left wing. Shot saved by Meyer. He holds on, and after the whistle, Jardine hits Gratton in the back for having the audacity to go after a loose puck, or what he thought was a loose puck, or maybe what Gratton was hoping would be a loose puck. We saw quite a bit of that action with both teams, where they were ultra aggressive in trying to protect their goaltender, both the Grizzlies and Steelheads. Last night it was Dylan Wells getting the 46 save shutout. Earlier today, I'd kind of been told that I wasn't told about the goaltender change. I knew that the Grizzlies were having a couple fresh defensemen, but wasn't aware about the goaltender change today. So Dryden McKay gets the start in net. I felt bad because I think I told the Idaho broadcaster that was going to be Wells. Idaho wins the draw as Hershuk around his net. As Berg nearby, puck bounces off a Ricketts skate as it goes out to neutral ice near the Steelheads bench. Idaho will wobble it in. McKay plays it in front of the crease, and he drops it for Bukata. He gets it to Enns. Enns rink-wide feed off an Idaho stick onto Ricketts. Ricketts to the right side. Centering pass looking for Ness. And it's picked off by Punnett, who was in the right place at the right time. Hershuk out to center ice. 2-on-3. He'll bounce it in and chase after it in the far corner. As Hershuk collides with Hanson Bukata. Puck goes back towards the far corner. Enns gets it, and he'll feed it back towards Hanson Bukata. 2:20 left on a moving clock first period. Idaho leads 2-1. Punnett will lift it. This time it stays in play. As Hoffman with a good back check on Enns. As puck goes back towards the far corner. Berglund over to Hoffman. It's taken away. Grizzlies had the angle. Good job by Aiden Hanson Bukata, who had 3 big assist seasons in college. Berg dumps it in. Ricketts gets around Punnett. Punnett blasts Ricketts over in the near corner. Boy, we've seen a lot of hitting here in the first period. Idaho skies it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Bouncing puck's taken by Gansky. Gansky gets it taken away. Ports to the right side. Toe drag, shot, and it bounces off of McKay's glove. Action in front of the net as McKay gets pushed into his net. And Chris Dodaro and John Jalot get separated by the linesman. Now Chris Dodaro's having some words with McKay. Christian Felton intervenes. 1:42 is left in the first period. Play got very spirited and physical in the second half of last night's game. Late in regulation, Garrett Pike got boarded by Mitch Wall. Wall, the former Grizzly, and he's in a second stint with Idaho, picked up a 2-game suspension. Pike is not in the lineup, but it wasn't due to an injury. He is out with a family matter. He'll rejoin the team for the Jacksonville series. It's going to be coming up next week. Remember, the Grizzlies have 3 games in 3 days against the Jacksonville Icemen. October 29th, 30th, and 31st. Face-off all 3 nights will be at 7 o'clock. Grizzlies will roll it back to the far side. Jalot crosses center ice. He scored his first pro goal halfway through the first period. Janaev gets double-teamed, and he gets divorced in the puck. As Idaho, back from one corner to the other. Janaev gets the puck to number 26. He fires a shot that's blocked away. Ports has had a good first period for Idaho as he tried to get it towards Chris Dodaro. Too many sticks in the way. Puck at neutral ice. Now the whistle blows as there's 1:17 left in the first. Hand pass looks to be the call. As we mentioned before, Grizzlies continue their homestand next week against the Jacksonville Icemen. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week. Face-off all 3 nights will be at 7:10. Banning will take the draw against Nick Ports. Ports is on that first forward line for Idaho, and he's certainly looked to be deserving of it. Neutral zone, Dodaro will fire onto McKay, and it bounces off his left pad. Shea lets it go, so does Charlie Dodaro. Arm is raised by Craig Peterson, the linesman. Now the other linesman, Andrew Collins, raises his right arm, and icing is on Utah with 1:04. That's the time remaining here in the first period. First intermission, we'll go over the scores from around the world of sports. BYU Cougars go to 8-0 on the season. They defeat Iowa State. Some people in the building are excited about that. Others not so much. Utah Utes will be in action against Colorado. And we'll also go over some NHL scores. Check in on the Colorado Avalanche, Grizzlies NHL affiliate, as well as the local Utah Mammoth. They're in action against the Minnesota Wild. That game has gone final, and we welcome those of you who tuned into that game as Pearson gets it towards Steinmetz on the right side. Steinmetz lefty shot saved by McKay. Rebound goes towards Shea. It gets to Voigt. Voigt will globe it into the Steelheads end of the ice. Ended up at neutral ice where Jardine gloved and dropped it. Charlie Dodaro crosses center ice and he'll dump it in. As McKay stays in front of his net, Salem whips it around the boards towards center ice for Shea. Shea will sweep it all the way in deep as the Grizzlies make a 5-man line change. The party of 5 are the Grizzlies. Includes Jack Ricketts. He's out there with Janaev and Tyler Gratton. That's the 3 forwards with Felton and Salem. Puck goes back towards Pearson as Salem shadows him. Up top to Hershuk in the left point. He'll fire it off the end boards intentionally. Miller skates towards the right corner as he shields a Grizzly from the puck. Felton pushes Miller to the boards. Grizzlies come back up with it. Leaps across the center ice. He gets nudged in the right shoulder by Punnett. Hershuk races after. 2 seconds left in the period. And that will do it for 20 minutes. Arm is raised by the referee. We might have a penalty at the very end. Oh, it's going to be on Utah as they check an Idaho player for a high stick to see if there's blood. It's either going to be a 2-minute or 4-minute power play for Idaho to start the second period. As looked like it was Aiden Hershuk who took the high stick from a Grizzly. So Idaho leads 2-1, and the first power play of the game will go to the Steelheads to start the second period. We'll see if we can get the signal from referee Hunter Mottinger as to whether it's a 2-minute or a 4-minute penalty to start the power play, to start the second period, as Idaho will be on the power play. And it looks like it's going to be, I think I see 4 fingers. That might be a double minor for high sticking for the Steelheads to start the second period, as apparently Aiden Hershuk was able to show a little bit of blood. I think there might be a missing tooth or something. There's 2 Steelheads deep in the corner. I think they're looking for a tooth or 2. Now it looks like a trainer is going to walk out there, and I think that might exactly be what it is. There's players on the Steelheads, and it's either lost jewelry that they're looking for, or they're looking for a tooth that might be on the ice. That's hockey. That's the nature of hockey. You don't see that in too many other sports. As they're looking down, I think they're trying to find a tooth. If not that, they're probably looking for some expensive jewelry. Either way, it looks like the Steelheads players have gone to the locker room. And when we come back in 2 minutes, we will have second intermission coverage as Idaho leads Utah 2-1. We'll recap the first period and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. Both teams had 9 shots. The Steelheads lead 2-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Idaho got the first 2 goals of the game as Liam Malmquist and Caleb Pearson played catch back and forth, and Malmquist eventually got the puck in the left wing and fired it past McKay. It's Malmquist's 3rd goal of the season. Pearson and Aiden Hershuk with the assist, and it was the long-range pass from Hershuk to Malmquist that got the play started. Steelheads extended the lead, 7:30 into the first period as Connor Punnett found Nick Ports just outside the right circle. Ports with a quick-looking wrist shot that went stick side past McKay. Ports has been all over the place for Idaho tonight. Punnett and Dodaro with the assist, and that's Chris Dodaro, the forward who was a scratch last night, and essentially he's replacing Mitch Wall in the Idaho lineup. Grizzlies got on the board 9:20 into the first, and congratulations to John Jalot. He becomes the 3rd Grizzly this season to score his first professional goal. He had 7 goals in 37 games with Holy Cross last season. Jalot scored 9:20 in with Salem, and Gratton getting the assist. And for that, Tyler Gratton extends his point-scoring streak to 3 straight games. For Tyler Gratton, though, 20 minutes into the first period, he picked up a high-sticking double minor. Well, there's some traditions we love here at Maverik Center, and this one continues. The Coca-Cola can race is back for another season. We have Diet Coke, Fanta, Coca-Cola, and Sprite. We have 4 cans on the ice. Sammy Miller, the MC, is introducing the Coca-Cola can race to everybody. We're going to call it along with everybody. As when the Coca-Cola can race happens, we stop everything we're doing and we make sure to pay attention to this thing. Diet Coke, Fanta, Coca-Cola, and Sprite from left to right. They will start over in the top right corner and do a lap. They'll go around the net that's on the left side as we see it from high top section 114. And then we'll go back towards the top right corner. Grisby is always up for some shenanigans. Some of the fun, entertaining things you see here at Maverik Center. So looks like we're going to get the first Coca-Cola can race of the season. And they're off. Looks like Sprite's off to an early lead. Coca-Cola in second. Diet Coke and Fanta tied for third. Grisby throws Fanta off its axis. Sprite around the net. Sprite wobbling around the net. Now Sprite takes a spill. Sprite's down over in the near circle. And Coca-Cola takes the lead. Sprite back to its feet. Sprite closes the gap. Sprite passes Coca-Cola. Grisby tried to intervene, but Sprite wins. Sprite won about 2 steps ahead of Coca-Cola. Fanta finishes third, and Diet Coke bringing up the rear. So Sprite, who fell down about halfway through the race, got back up to its feet and got to center ice, and at neutral ice was able to pass Coca-Cola. Grisby couldn't cut off either Sprite or Coca-Cola, so we had a clean finish, and Sprite is the winner of the Coca-Cola can race. When we come back, we will go over some scores from around the league. Idaho leads 2-1, and the Steelheads will be on the power play for the first 4 minutes of the second period as Tyler Gratton got a double minor for high sticking, and I think they're still looking for the guy's teeth from the Steelheads over in the Zamboni tunnel. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from
commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. I'm Tyson Whiting. Just ran into former Grizzly player and former Grizzly assistant coach Jared Pike, Salt Lake City native, and looks like he's doing well. Well, in the National Hockey League, there was an NHL debut, and you might know him. Charles-Edouard Nastu, the Grizzly superstar, who had a legendary postseason run for the Grizzlies back in the 2021-22 season. He was in the lineup for the Tampa Bay Lightning and looked like he was getting regular shifts. Nastu, who had 26 goals in 53 games for the Grizzlies in the 2021-22 season, and then he had 19 goals in 18 playoff games. Lightning got a 4-3 victory over the Anaheim Ducks as that game has gone final. As we're going to check to see how Nastu did on the box score. As Nastu played 14 minutes and 57 seconds. He had 24 shifts. He had one shot on goal, one block shot, one hit, two giveaways, and he was a -1. But Nastu was out there wearing number 51 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning got a 4-3 victory over the Anaheim Ducks. The game winner was scored by Anthony Cirelli, 16:45 into the third period. Other action in the National Hockey League. A couple games have gone final of local note. Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, lost to the Bruins 3-2 today, as Jeremy Swain was one of the stars. And the Avalanche goals were scored, both of them by Arturi Lehkonen. Morgan Geekie scored what turned out to be the game winner, 19:55 into the second period. The Utah Mammoth come away with a 6-2 victory. They defeated the Minnesota Wild. Logan Cooley had another big game as he had 2 goals and 1 assist, and Karel Vejmelka was outstanding in net as he saved 33 of 35. It was a big first period and a big third period for the Mammoth. They scored 3 goals in the first and 3 in the second. Wild had 1 goal in the first and 1 in the second. Nick Schmaltz stays red hot. He scored his 6th goal of the season, 4:58 into the first period. In fact, the Mammoth scored the first 3 goals of the game, and it was Cooley scoring the first 2 goals for the Mammoth, and then Schmaltz made it 3-0. Marcus Johansson got the Wild on the board, 15:39 into the first period, and then Johansson scored again, 15:43 into the second. That made it a 3-2 game. But the Mammoth got third period goals from J.J. Peterka. Schmaltz got a second goal of the game, and John Marino found the back of the net on an empty net. Marino with a multiple point game as he had 1 goal and 1 assist. Actually had 2 assists. So a 3-point effort for John Marino, 1 goal and 2 assists. As the Mammoth stayed red hot, they defeat the Wild 6-2. Games in progress in the NHL. Kings and Predators are tied at 3 with 15:06 left in the third period. Hurricanes and Stars are tied at 2. That game is early in the third. Just getting underway. Oilers and the Kraken. That should be an interesting one. Could see a lot of goals in that game. Finals in the NHL. Flyers in a shootout defeat the Islanders 4-3. The shootout game winner was scored by Mikheyev of the Flyers. We mentioned the Lightning in their 4-3 victory over the Ducks. Maple Leafs get a 4-3 win over the Sabres. Panthers shut out the Golden Knights 3-0. And Sam Reinhart scored the first goal for Florida. That turned out to be the game winner, as Bobrovsky picked up a shutout as he saved all 17 Vegas shots. Red Wings over the Blues 6-4. St. Louis off to a tough start this season. Blue Jackets in the shootout get a 5-4 win over the Penguins. Shootout game winner was scored by Marchenko. Senators over the Capitals 7-1. Canadians defeat the Canucks 4-3. as the game winner in that game was scored by Demidov. That made it a 4-2 game. Vancouver scored 16-13 into the third period with Connor Garland to cut into the lead, but Montreal was able to hold on for a 4-3 win. When we come back, we'll go over some college football scores as Idaho leads Utah 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
In college football action this evening, the University of Utah takes on Colorado. That game at Rice-Eccles Stadium, that's certainly going to be a big one. 8:15 is the kickoff. Utah's a 14-point favorite. Utes are 5-2 on the season. Colorado is 3-4. How about those BYU Cougars? They go to 8-0 on the season. They defeat Iowa State 41-27. So BYU goes to 8-0. Iowa State falls to 5-3. BYU is currently ranked 11th in the country, and we'll see if they end up in the top 10 as the top 25 poll will come out tomorrow. Two NHL scores once again that we've been keeping an eye out for. Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Avalanche, lose 3-2 to the Bruins, and Utah Mammoth defeat Minnesota 6-2. Some stats from the first period. Scoring chances, Utah had 7. Idaho was 6. Steelheads won the battle of the face-off circle 11-9. Both teams had 9 shots on goal. A lot of hits in the first period. Utah had 10, Idaho 7. Grizzlies with 4 giveaways, and the Steelheads with 2. Both teams coming on the ice to start the second period. And remember, Idaho will be on the power play for the first 4 minutes of the second as Tyler Gratton got a double minor for high sticking exactly 20 minutes into the first period. And, you know, obviously last night there were some big stories with Reed Lepster scoring 3 goals and 1 assist. Dylan Wells with the 46-save shutout. But really the big story, and maybe maybe one of the stories that wasn't mentioned as much, was the Grizzlies penalty kill unit. There were 2 different occasions where Idaho had a 5-on-3 power play and the Grizzlies killed it off. In total, Utah was 8 for 8 on the penalty kill. At one point, it looked like the box score had it 9 for 9, but they concluded that it was 8 for 8 on the PK. As they show some highlights from the first period on the video board here at center ice. As Idaho took a 2-0 lead early in the game. They had a goal that was disallowed as there was a kicking motion, 4:05 in as Nick Ports kicked it in the back of Utah's net. 4:43 in. Malmquist scored with the assist going to Pearson and Aiden Hershuk. And then Idaho took a 2-0 lead, 7:30 in as Ports got his first of the year with the assist to Punnett and Chris Tadero. Grizzlies got on the board 9-10 in as John Jalont got his first professional goal with the assist going to Luke Salem and Tyler Gratton. Grizzlies, their 4 tires on their penalty kill are going to have Griffin Ness out there with Reed Lepster, Noah Gansky, and Luke Salem. Remember, Lepster scored a shorthanded goal last night on a great individual effort. Idaho on the power play. Nick Ports will take the drives out there with Chris Tadero and Francisco Arcuri. And up top is Tommy Bergsland and Matt Anderson. Anderson gets the puck as Idaho wins the draw. Idaho now leads the faceoff battle 12-9. Steelheads dump it in as McKay helicoptered all the way down towards Idaho ice. As Nolan Meyer behind his net will drop it for Anderson, who's got good speed and playmaking ability. Anderson previously has played with South Carolina and Toledo in this league. Over to our Curry left side, and he whips it around the boards. McKay wearing number 29 leaves it for Salem. Salem to the right side will bounce off of Bergsland, and it goes out to neutral ice. Idaho tags back up. They lead 2-1 as we play 35 seconds into the second period. First half of a double minor for high sticking. Ports goes down. He loses his stick. He'll get a new one from Chris Bestel, the equipment manager, as Idaho whips it around the wall. Chris Dodaro drops it for our Curry. Tried to chip it up top. Ness anticipated it, but it goes back towards Anderson from our Curry. Our Curry left circle, lefty shot, saved by McKay. Rebound goes towards the left corner, which is on the near side. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. As Salem gets back checked by Ports. Oh, it's going to be a penalty on Ports. As Ports puts Salem from behind. And so that will do it for the power play. We'll skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. There's still 2:56 left in the Grattan penalty. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. And then after that, the Grizzlies or the Steelheads will go back on the power play for another 56 seconds. So hooking's the call. Nick Ports has done just about everything in the first period. Scored a goal and then had one that was disallowed on a kicking motion as he tried to do his best soccer impersonation. And now Ports picks up the first penalty for Idaho this evening. Danny Genev will take the drives out there with Ty Voigt. And up top is Aiden Hansen-Bukata and Christian Felton. Remember, the Grizzlies outscored opponents 9-2 in 4-on-4 situations last season. As Charlie Dodaro gets the puck, dangles back and forth, gets new, tries hot pass to his right for Hoffman off his stick. As Hansen-Bukata battles with Hoffman, puck slides towards the middle of the ice, taken by Felton. Felton around McKay's net. 1:39 left in the 4-on-4. As puck ends up going towards Genev from Felton. Genev will toss to his right. Puck off a Hoffman stick. Hoffman battles with Genev on the back check. Now Hoffman continues his battle. Puck goes out to neutral ice. Caleb Pearson gets cut off by Hansen-Bukata. Pearson tried to curl his body towards his right, and the Steelheads will push it back towards Nolan Mayer, their goaltender, as the Steelheads reset the attack. Fans in section 113. Serenade Ports, who's in the box. Hershuk with the puck, and he'll move it to his right for Pearson. Pearson crosses the center red line, steps over the offensive blue as he gets around Luke Manning. As Hoffman loses his balance, Salem comes out with the puck. Luke Salem will drag the puck out to neutral ice, dangling back and forth across the center red line, and he'll backhand it off a glove and out of play into section 115, about row 5. As somebody will come away with the puck. Hershuk didn't want that to happen. Immediately after he hit the puck off his glove into the seats, immediately he was hoping that it would either find an empty seat or somebody would make a catch. And it looks like everybody's okay. Fan holds up the game puck. Somebody from the staff goes to make sure everybody's all right. Drowns game in the Steelhead zone. We got 49 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then Ports will come out of the box, and Idaho will resume with their power play. Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Shea, and the two defensemen are Hansen-Bukata and Christian Felton. Manning takes the draw, the St. Thomas product. They just are in the process of building a beautiful hockey facility. Shea tried to get it back to Felton, but Felton was skating towards the middle of the ice. Shea anticipated him staying at the point as Grizzlies reset deep in their own zone. Hansen-Bukata over to Felton wearing number 42. He'll leave it for Shea as Neil Shea races to neutral ice like a bolt of lightning. Crosses the center red line, moves to his right, gets it to Felton. Felton bounces it back towards Shea. Puck rolls all the way towards the side of the net. Nolan Meyer as Felton with the puck. He'll slide it up top to Manning. Manning, all puck was near the blue line. He was able to keep it in. Manning skates towards the right side, pivots, stops, gets to Hansen-Bukata on the right point. And so he'll get it to Shea right side. Shea has a glance off his stick. Anderson will drag it out to neutral ice before he loses it. Another Steelhead gets it back, and that's Mason Nevers. As Idaho returns to their power play, as Ports will skate towards the bench. Steelheads on the power play for the next 49 seconds and counting. Steelheads lead 2-1 as there's 16:45. That's the time remaining second period. Anderson to Gennady across the center ice, dangling back and forth. They'll drop it for Miller, left point. Miller battles with Gansky as Gennady tries to hold his ground. Friesen comes up with the puck. He'll get to Salem. Will helicopter it all the way towards Nolan Meyer. Meyer will drop it in the near circle for Charlie Dodaro. As Charlie Dodaro, the talented defenseman, will drop it as Pearson gets the puck. Caleb Pearson tries to split a double team, does so successfully before Salem jabbed at the puck and knocked it away from him. Pearson gets it back, and he'll whip it around the boards. It goes past Jade Miller all the way deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies will switch up forwards. 5 seconds left, and it's a successful penalty kill for the Grizzlies, who are now 12 for 13 on the season with the double minor. It's probably more like 13 for 14 on the year. As Ricketts taps it away from Idaho's Malmquist. Ricketts runs it down over in the left corner, which is the far side as we see it in the second period. Felton over in the left point. He's an outstanding skater. Skates towards the left circle. Felton drags the puck. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Meyer. Boy, Meyer raised his right shoulder, or else it'd be a 2-2 tie. Good save by the Idaho goaltender. Pearson over the line to the far circle. Gets hit in the back by Enns. And taking the puck away is Christian Felton. Felton out to center ice. Tape to tape to Ricketts. Ricketts will skate towards the right circle. And he fires a backhand shot that hits the side of the net. Ness locates it. And he gets to the middle of the ice for Bucata. Bucata walks in. Now around the net. Tried to curl the puck out near side. And Meyer was able to make the save. Boy, Hanson Bucata had two options. He thought about either going around the net, maybe looking for a wraparound or somebody out in front, or he tried to reverse his field and kind of force the puck in. And Meyer was able to make the save. A great move by Aiden Hanson Bucata. There just wasn't any room there as Meyer kicked out his left pad. Hanson Bucata probably saw a Steelhead coming from the opposite side and probably thought his pursuit would get cut off. Genev will take the puck, but it's won by Idaho. Genev took the face-off. He's out there with Berg and Lepster as Berg delivers a good shoulder check on Jardine. Charlie Dodaro trying to get towards Hoffman. It glanced off of his stick. Lepster enters down the middle. Lepster, 3 goals last night on the back check. Holmes disrupted the shot from Lepster. Now Salem, right side lefty shot, saved by Meyer. He holds on with 14:59 left in the second. Draw's going to be over in the right circle. Janai will take it against, he's out there with Berg and Lepster. Nick Ports will take the draw for Idaho. Ports has seen a ton of action here tonight. Kind of filling the gap left by Ty Pelton-Bice and Mitch Wall, two talented forwards who are out due to suspension. Idaho out to Arcuri off his stick. Puck will sky to neutral ice. Gloved and dropped by Colby Enns. He loses the puck as Ports. Trying to center to Arcuri, who got held up by Enns. Arcuri races after a loose puck in the right corner. Gets up top to Dodaro. And Charlie Dodaro fires a righty shot that goes wide as he was looking for Ports to redirect it. Chris Dodaro behind his net. He's got one assist tonight. Skates towards the right corner. Regathers the puck. He tried to glance it to the middle of the ice and it hits off a Lepster's skate. Lepster out to the left wing. He overskates it as Charlie Dodaro was trying to light up his world. As Berg near the Grizzlies bench gets to the Idaho line and he'll push it in. Grizzlies will make a full line change as they reshuffle the deck. Jardine. He whips a hot pass over Canadi's stick. It goes deep in the Grizzlies zone. Canadi got a piece of it, though. As Grizzlies will get it ahead towards Shea. Gets cut off. Shea trying to regather it. Turnover. Canadi right side lefty shot. And it misses wide off the protective netting. Grizzlies might have gotten a stick in the way. As the time left in the second period is 14:06. There's going to be a draw in the Grizzlies zone. Make sure to join us next week when the Jacksonville Icemen are in town. First game of that series will be Wednesday, October 29th. Gear tickets, UtahGrizzlies.com. One former Grizzly on the Jacksonville roster, and that's Peter Tischke, who was with Utah during the 2019-2020 season. Draw one by Idaho. Felton gets it around Utah's net as Voigt backhands to the center ice. Shea will bat it over Bergsland's head as Luke Manning gets hit by Canadi. Manning keeps his balance. Now he gets pushed to the boards by Canadi. Idaho comes back the other way. Anderson gets a good shoulder check from Shea. As now centering pass towards Anderson kicks off his skate. Grizzlies come back the other way. 3-on-3. Shea out towards Manning. Manning couldn't handle it as it looked like he was trying to stop as he thought maybe that Shea was going to keep it himself. Out to center ice. Anderson steps over the line as he drops it for Nevers. Now Miller looking for a shot. Felton with a big-time hit over along the Utah end boards. Berg tried to shovel it out of the zone. Instead fanned on it. Got it back and gets Degansky down the middle of the ice. Gansky off feeds to the left side. Grizzlies got away with too many. They had about 7 on the ice there, but no call was made. Only one referee's not able to see everything. As Ness back towards the near corner. As Bergsland gets a good shoulder check from Adam Berg. As the Steelheads tap the puck out to center ice. Salem will nudge it away. Berg in the area, trying to get towards Ness. He was looking to dump it in. Might have bounced off the referee, Hunter Mottinger. Now Ness, he gets a big-time check from Hershuk. And now the hitting, he starts to get physical as Ricketts delivered a push on Pearson. Idaho over the offensive line. As they center it towards Pearson. Righty shot. Saved by McKay. Oh, what a stop by McKay. And the Grizzlies sky it near the video board. It stays in play. Bounces at center ice. Probably put a dent in the ice. Ness dumps it in. Ness and Hershuk exchange some pushes. And we got a fight as Griffin Ness and Hershuk, as Ness swung and missed, and then Hershuk dragged Ness to the ice. Both guys wear number 77, and it looked like there was a hit earlier in the shift. And they decided to drop the gloves. Boy, Ness looked to connect on a roundhouse right, swung and missed over the top of Hershuk, and then Hershuk didn't really get many punches in. He just dragged Ness to the ice. 12:55 left in the second period. Idaho leads Utah 2-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
12 minutes and 25 seconds left in the second period. Idaho leads Utah 2-1. We're still waiting for the first goal of the second period. Shot count's been pretty close to even throughout this game. Utah has 12 shots, Idaho with 11. Both teams had 9 shots in the first period, so the Grizzlies with a slight 3-2 edge here in the second period. Griffin Ness and Aiden Hershuk each dropped the gloves. Both guys were in the penalty box. We're going to skate 5-on-5 with the draw in the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies skating from left to right here in the period. Idaho from right to left. As we see it from high top, section 114. First of a 4-game homestand for the Grizzlies. Second of 7 meetings this season between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Evan Friesen will take the dries out there with John Gillott and Luke Manning. Gillott scored a first period goal, which was his first as a pro. That was 9:10 into the first frame. Actually 9:20 into the first period. Math is hard sometimes. Felton gets the puck in the right point. Grizzlies win the faceoff. Felton will race towards his left. Now he stops in the high slot. Fires the righty shot. Kick saved by Meyer. And he holds on. Oh, that was a crafty shot by Felton. And puck ricocheted either off a body or off a stick. And Meyer was able to kick his left pad out. Actually not that different from how Webster completed the hat trick. Just got it in the high slot and fired something towards the net. Boy, Christian Felton's been awfully impressive for the Grizzlies. You talk about a guy that can do just about everything. Last year, he had an NHL contract with the Vancouver Canucks. So penalties, both Griffin Net, actually looks like Hershuk got a double minor for roughing. Ness got an interference minor and a roughing minor. Time of penalties, 7:35 in. As Charlie Dodaro leaves the ice, it looks like he's going to walk towards the locker room. Hopefully Dodaro's okay. I wonder if they spotted something wrong with him. Now the referee is going to go talk with Everett Sheen, the Idaho head coach. The assistant coach, Keenan Kelly. Both guys sporting pretty similar hairstyles. And I wonder if they spotted something about Dodaro. They had to go to the locker room and get repaired. Grizzlies coaches, some of the best dressed in the league. And that tradition continues. John Buchanan in a beautiful looking suit. Now it looks like they're going to work on some ice near the Steelheads bench. The assistant coaches are well dressed as well. Ryan Anderson, in his first year with the Grizzlies, he was with Reading last season. And he reunited with Tyler Gratton here in the West Valley area. And Jack Skilly's behind the bench as well. Skilly from a former first-round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks. Now it looks like everybody's looking at the ice, trying to make sure it's okay. Aiden Hansen-Bukata wiggling his skate back and forth. And so it looks like we're going to have some repairs on the ice with 12:16 left in the second period. Team leadership for this season. You know, we're not going to make too much of a mention of it, but Nick Messner did leave for a club in Europe earlier this week. Tyler Gratton's the Grizzlies captain. Guys wearing the A's for the Grizzlies throughout the season will be Neil Shea, Luke Manning, I think those two are wearing A's tonight. We'll also see, I think, Noah Gansky and Adam Berg also wearing A's. They're continuing some repair of ice. They might be, I don't know if it doesn't look like it's necessarily blood. It just looks like there's some issues over in the high slot of the side of the ice the Steelheads are defending in this second period. Dylan Wells' 46 save shutout was certainly the talk of the league and the talk of local sports, as it was the first shutout by a Grizzlies goaltender since December 31st of 2023. So looks like now the repairs have been done, and the draw is going to be in the right circle. Grizzlies have Jalot, Friesen, and Manning on the ice. Evan Friesen looking for his first point of the season, but he certainly do. Friesen last year, next to last game of the regular season, scored his first pro goal against Rapid City. Friesen had 32 goals in 66 games with the Wenatchee Wild last season. The year before that, the 2023-24 campaign, had 25 goals in 60 games. Friesen will take the draw against Brendan Hoffman. Hoffman had a big year for Idaho last season. So far this year, Hoffman has 2 goals and 2 assists in 4.5 games. Idaho skies it near the video board, but just under it. McKay taps the puck towards the far corner. And as the puck goes off a Manning's stick directly to Friesen. 2-on-2. Friesen over the offensive line. Grizzlies on side. Felton tried to center it to Friesen, but the pass was behind him. Holmes taps it up but not out. Jalot gets belted by Hoffman. And Hoffman looks over Jalot to make sure he doesn't get up quickly. Punt it crosses center ice. And he will helicopter it off the corner as McKay and Gansky trying to play the puck, and it goes towards Friesen. Friesen near center ice. He'll bounce it in. Grizzlies make a full line change. We're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. McDonald gets blasted by Gansky. Boy, the hitting's been strong throughout. Holmes will bounce to the right corner in the Grizzlies zone, and a hit delivered by Salem as a Steelhead goes sprawling, and that's Ports. Out to center ice, Anderson rolls it along the boards. McKay plays behind his net near the U-Helt sign. Salem will tap it towards the right corner. Chris Tadero plays it. Genev on the back check took it away. He gets to Gratton. Gratton left wings it to Genev. Genev gets the puck. Left side, fires a lefty shot. It goes wide, out of play. He just tried to shovel it towards the net. And it goes out of play. Offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies with 11:02 left in the second period. Danny Genev's somebody that the Grizzlies fans are going to get familiar with. He was in training camp with Idaho, and during the 2 preseason games, he looked like Idaho's best forward, or at least one of them. Last year at Penn State, they went to the Frozen Four, and he had 12 goals and 19 assists in 40 games. Genev will take the drives out there with Gratton and Lebster off the draw. Lebster swings and misses as he was skating towards his right into the slot. Boy, ice conditions a little bit choppy, it looks like. Gratton tried to center it, got some air under it, about waist high to Genev. Back to the high slot. As Lebster gets the puck just outside the left circle, takes a righty shot that goes wide. Boy, if he would have had the accuracy, we'd be tied at 2. It looked like Meyer was cut off on the angle. Now Enns fires to the net. Glove by Meyer. Good job by Gratton. It looked like Nolan Meyer didn't have great vision on it. He spotted the puck late, but was able to make a shoulder-high save. 10:43 is the time remaining, second period. Really good Saturday night crowd here at Maverik Center. A few seats along both ends available. Grizzlies will have the speedy forward line of Shea, Manning, and Voigt on the ice. And the Grizzlies really have changed up the defensive pairings. This time it's Salem and Felton as Utah's rolling with 5D tonight. Draw one by Utah. Christian Felton over in the right point. Gets it to Shea. Shea takes a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Jade Miller. As Salem back behind the net for Manning off his stick to Shea. Shea spins to the right point for Felton. Felton fires a righty prayer that goes wide. As Nevers out to center ice for Canadi off his stick. Salem runs it down. Salem will pitch it out to Voigt at center ice. He'll lay it for Shea. Shea, the speedy forward, steps over the offensive line, trying to move it to his right. Still has to get a stick in the way. 2-on-2. Punt it races across center ice. Canadi down the middle. Punt it with a puck, trying to center it to Canadi. It's tapped away by the stick of Salem. Loved and dropped by Canadi in the left wing. He skates towards the left point. Canadi will bounce one, or actually he'll fly one towards Felton, who gloves and drops it in the right wing. Puck in the corner. 2-on-2 battle. Canadi, the Steelheads captain, gets up top. Tapped away by Voigt. Punt it fires towards the net, and it's sticked away by Voigt, by Salem. Now the puck goes to Luke Manning, who gets the new tries. Manning crosses the center red line, accelerates, tries to get around Punnett, as Punnett blasts Manning and divorces the third-year pro from the puck. Gansky whips it back around to the left corner. Grattan delivers a push on Punnett. Puck in the left point as Berg gets it. Berg's the left side, trying to center it towards Ricketts, and it's tapped away by Punnett. Buchanan fakes a shot. He's in the high slot, takes a lefty shot, and it's blocked. Puck pinballs around. The Steelheads will clear it all the way out. It's going to be icing on Idaho as the clock stops with 9 minutes and 19 seconds left in the second. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Instagram, X formerly known as Twitter, and the Grizzlies are superstars on TikTok. I'm on X at Tyson on Sports. So Idaho failing to change as Nick Canotti's played a long shift as he's got his stick on his knees trying to grab some air. Ricketts will take the draw against Jade Miller. Grizzlies have now outshot the Steelheads 14-11. Utah has a 5-2 edge in the shot count in the second period. Off of Grattan's stick as the Grizzlies won the faceoff. Left point, righty shot goes wide. Rebound towards the net, looking for Berg. And Meyer dives in the crease. He's covered up. Boy, Grizzlies fired it off the end boards, and it looked like Berg was trying to find somebody in the crease. Still did a good job boxing out Utah, in particular Grattan and Ricketts, who both had goals last night. Berg was looking for that dirty, greasy goal. Nick Canotti did a good job laying on top of Meyer. As there's about 8 bodies in the crease, Meyer was able to make the stop. So the Grizzlies are up to 15 shots, 6 of them here in the second period. Ricketts will take the draw once again. He's out there with Berg and Grattan. Hoffman will take the face-off for Idaho. He scored some big goals for the Steelheads last season. Draw one by Idaho. Jardine over to Malmquist, who will backhand it off at ends as the puck goes towards the Utah line. As Pearson gets pushed along the boards by Felton. Ends with the puck. They'll tap it towards the far side. Now the Steelheads keep it in the offensive zone as they cycle it back around to the left corner. Ricketts gets the loose puck. He's got Malmquist behind him. As Ricketts gets it towards ends, he skates around Utah's net. Ends back to center ice. Grattan cuts off the Steelhead. Jardine moves it ahead towards Utah ice. Hoffman, right side, shot, stick save by McKay. Jardine, left side, he'll take a shot, save by McKay. Action out in front. Felton gets the puck. Christian Felton will tap it towards Shea. Shea battles with Jardine. Idaho is able to keep in the offensive zone. As down the middle of the ice, Bergslund will take a shot, and that's blocked away. Grizzlies will carry it out to neutral ice. Freesing off the near boards. Berg couldn't get a hold of it as he tried to extend his stick as far as he could. Punt it back in the far corner. He tried to get to Bergslund. Pass behind him to center ice. Salem fires it back in. 8:05 on a moving clock, second period. Steelheads moving out towards Pearson. He gets knocked down by Bukata. Malmquist crosses center ice 1-on-3. Freeson jabs the puck and knocks it away from Malmquist. Jalot gets pushed near the Steelheads bench. Idaho gets across ice to Punnett. He's in the left wing at neutral ice, and he'll whip it around the boards. Bukata gets a good shoulder check from Holmes. Holmes, one of the better hitters on the Steelheads. Bukata is engulfed by Holmes. Puck goes over to Salem as he gets blasted by Hoffman. 2-on-2 battle. Now the puck goes towards the right circle. Grizzlies come up with it. Jalot races out to neutral ice, strides towards the center red line, and he'll dump it in as he extended his stick as he was getting cut off by a Steelhead. Grizzlies make a full line change. 7:23 on a moving clock, second period. Idaho leads 2-1. Anderson's got good speed. Accelerates. Matt's his first name. Gets around Grattan. He'll helicopter it in. McKay sticks it away. Anderson over to the right side. Shot. What a stop by McKay! Boy, he denied McDonough. What a stop by Dryden McKay as the Steelheads were able to get a cross-ice pass towards the right circle. And McKay with a glove save to keep it a 2-1 game. McKay stuck it away. Back towards the right side. As McKay reacted quickly towards his left. And the fans applaud a great effort by the 2022 Hobie Baker Award winner. McKay is the winningest goaltender in NCAA history. He's got 34 career NCAA shutouts. A couple years ago, had a solid campaign with the Newfoundland Growlers. Last year was with Greenville and Bloomington in this league, and also spent some time in the AHL with the Ontario Reign. Steelheads win the draw. Jardine left side. Shot sticked away by McKay, and the puck flies out of play into about row 4 of section 102. As it was caught cleanly, fan comes away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. A fan in a light blue billed cap shakes his head back and forth as he couldn't come away with the puck. A lot of people in Grizzlies uniforms tonight. We thank the Grizzly fans for their support over what's been a great 3-decade run. And hopefully this final hunt will be a successful one for John Buchanan's crew. Chris Sidero's kicked out of the face-off circle. Our Curry will take it for Idaho against Danny Janayev. Action in the Grizzly zone. Utah has a 15-14 shot advantage. Neither team scored in the second period. Utah wins the faceoff. Webster accelerates over the offensive line, stops, looks to center to Gratton. Gratton stops in the right corner, and he feeds it over the head of Janayev. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Gansky dumps it back in. Jardine will spin it across to Bergslund. Tommy Bergslund crosses center ice wearing number 5. He gets around Webster over the offensive line, skates towards the left corner, loses his balance. Now another Steelhead get it. 2-on-2 battle. As Gratton over to Webster. Webster is challenged by Chris Dodaro. Dodaro falls down. Now Webster falls down on Berglund as Dodaro tries to get around Enns. Colby Enns does a great job shadowing him. Puck up top to Bergslund. Keeps it in as he'll roll it back towards the right corner. Our Curry looks over both shoulders and Gansky gives him a light tap. Ports over in the right corner. Feeds up top. Hershuk with the puck as he's done with his 4 minutes worth of penalties as he was in there with Griffin Ness. Bergslund over in the high slot. Webster nearby. Bergslund fakes it to Hershuk. He'll tap it to the right circle. It glanced off a Grizzly stick as Gansky will lumber towards neutral ice. He gets it taken away. Malmquist over the line. Drops it for our Curry. Our Curry back to Malmquist. Left side. Tries to center it. And it glanced off the stick of Simets. Our Curry swings and misses from the left circle. Gets it back and feeds it up top to Punnett. Right circle. Now across to Hershuk. He'll take a lefty shot. And that's kicked away. It might have bounced off of Steinmetz, his teammate. Hershuk battles with Manning along the near boards. Puck in the corner. As our Curry skates around Utah's net to the far side. Shot saved by McKay on the wraparound attempt, but our Curry didn't have a great angle on it. As Hershuk with the puck gets out towards center ice. Malmquist tried to spin it to Punnett and does so successfully. Punnett at center ice tried to whip it in, but it bounced off the linesman. As Ends, all big hit as the Grizzly goes down as Felton got hit pretty hard by Pearson. Pearson's delivered some big hits in this series tonight as well as Friday night. And Pearson, he tried to light up Ends. Now Malmquist down the middle of the ice. Shot saved by McKay. Rebound shot saved by McKay again. Malmquist gets it back. Up top to Punnett. High slot. He fires it over the crossbar. Shot. It's the side of the net from the right wing. Grizzlies will move it out to center ice. Voigt will throw it near the Grizzlies bench. Shea chases after it. Shea gets the puck on side. Skates towards the left side. Tried to center it out in front, but Voigt had stopped as he was looking for his pursuit towards the net. Shea gets up top to Bucati. He's in the left wing. Back to Shea in the corner. Shea far side. Gets over towards Manning. Manning in the left wing. Drops it back up top for Bucata. Left point. He'll take a lefty shot. A save by bounced off a Punnett in front of Meyer. Rink wide feed. Chasing after it is Pearson. McKay gets it off the Utah backboard. Throws it around his net to Bucata. Bucata saucers it 3/4 the length of the ice. Looking for Ness. Picked off by Anderson. As Bucata throws it to the middle of the ice in front of McKay to Felton. Back to Bucata. 4:13 on a moving clock. Idaho leads 2-1. Ness will bounce one towards the middle of the ice in front of Mayer. And it's run down by Jardine as he'll roll it along the far wing wall. Idaho gets poked away by Ness. Ness trying to get it, but both teams exchange the puck about 2 or 3 times at neutral ice off each other's stick. Anderson fires towards McKay, who cuts it off with his stick. Play stays alive. Salem over towards Ricketts at center ice. Ricketts trying to locate it. He spins around with Kanadi as Bergslund comes away with it deep in the Steelhead zone. He skates around his own net. And the puck goes back along the far side. Left point. Now Bergslund gets to Kanadi. Kanadi rink wide feed goes to Hoffman. Hoffman behind Gansky. He'll take a righty shot. Rebound shot and a score. Brendan Hoffman gets his 3rd of the year as he got behind Gansky. First shot was saved by McKay. Hoffman got it back. And Brendan Hoffman extends Idaho's lead to 3-1. Looked like Hoffman kind of fanned on it a little bit. McKay was expecting a harder shot. Hoffman threw a changeup on that first one. It was kicked away by McKay. Hoffman followed his own shot and was able to get a second chance, and that's what ended up in the back of the net. So Brendan Hoffman, he's been a physical presence for Idaho, and he gets on the scoring sheet. Last year, he was outstanding for the Steelheads. Had over 20 goals. Second year with Idaho. This is 198th game in the ECHL, and that's Hoffman's 50th ECHL goal. Hoffman extends Idaho's lead to 3-1. Nick Kanadi and Tommy Bergslund with the assists. 3.5 minutes left in the second period. It's the Steelheads 3 and the Grizzlies 1. Hoffman with the puck. He'll tap it over to the near corner. Jardine being shadowed by Voigt. There's Jardine nearby, dancing back and forth. Friesen joins the play, and Hoffman has a bounce over his stick as he was trying to corral it. Grizzlies will tap it off the glass near the Steelheads bench. Idaho comes back up with it. Holmes falls down at neutral ice. Idaho's yelling for a penalty, and that one's going to be called. A very late whistle. Tripping's going to be the call. Interestingly enough, the trip happened at neutral ice, and the referee didn't raise his arm for about 4 seconds. He thought about it, and then he decided to call the penalty. So Idaho's going to be on the power play for the second time here in the second period. Brendan Hoffman extended their lead to 3-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
3 minutes, 2 seconds left in the second period. Idaho's on the power play as Ty Voigt gets 2 minutes for tripping. Time of penalty, 16:58 into the second. Idaho scored the first 2 goals of the game. Malmquist 4:43 into the contest with Pearson and Hershuk getting the assists. And then Nick Port scored 7:30 into the first with Punnett and Dodaro getting the assist. Utah got on the board 9:20 into the first as John Gillott got his first pro goal with Salem and Grattan getting the assist. And just a while ago, Brendan Hoffman scored 16:28 in with Knoddy and Bergslund getting the assists. Idaho back in their own zone. As we're 15 seconds into the power play, Anderson gets the puck, skates down the middle of the ice. He's got good speed, high strides as Anderson over the offensive line, drops it for Chris Dodaro. Gansky anticipated the play, skates towards the corner with Chris Dodaro. Hacking away is another Steelhead. Salem in the area. Chris Dodaro comes out with the puck. Now he's joined by Lebster. Anderson over to the right side, gets up top. Bergslund over to our Curry. He'll feed it to the left goal line. They try to get to Chris Dodaro. His lefty shot goes wide. The Grizzlies did a good job anticipating the play. Gansky whips it along the near wall. Somehow is able to be kept in by our Curry. And now it's taken away by Grattan, and Grattan clears it out. Tyler Grattan in his second game as Grizzlies captain. As Jardine gets the puck, both the Grizzlies and Steelheads make a full line change. Jardine gets out to the right side. Less than 2 minutes left in the second period. As Enns takes it away from Pearson. Jardine pedals towards his left. He'll drop it back to the right wing. As Malmquist will lay it for Pearson. Over to Jardine. Jardine dances his right. Now gets to the Pearson off his stick towards the right circle. Enns joins the play. Ness comes up with it. And Ness will race out to center ice. 3-on-3. Ness gets to center ice. He'll chip it in. As Grizzlies will get 2 new skaters on the ice now, 4 fresh tires. The Grizzlies complete a full line change. 25 seconds left in the Grizzlies penalty kill. Miller dumps it in as Salem trying to locate it. Malmquist nearby trying to negotiate his way around Salem. Scrum behind Utah's net. Malmquist gets to the right side. Now up top to Jardine. High slot. Lefty shot. Saved by McKay as he absorbed it around the front logo of his jersey. Salem gets pushed in the face by Knoddy. Salem can't believe that, but Knoddy gets away with it without a penalty. Nick Knoddy will average about 9 or 10 fighting majors a year. Fans having a good time with 1:12 left in the second period. Utah's looking for a comeback. Grizzlies scored a shorthanded goal last night. Backup goaltender for Idaho is Jay Stevens of the Utah Puck Report. Wearing number 68. There's Jay if you're watching on Flow Sports. Jay's got a mustache that kind of rivals that of Luke Salem. Draw one by the Steelheads. Bergslund, high slot. His shot's blocked by Gillott. As Holmes, puck gets into the air. Holmes tried to center it, and it kicked off of McKay. Gillott gets the puck. 1 minute remaining in the period. Gillott gets towards center ice. The puck lifts high into the air, bounces deep in the Steelhead zone. As Idaho gets taken away by Gillott. Jalot will feed it back towards the Idaho backboards. Manning battles. Coming out of the penalty box is Voigt. It's another successful penalty kill. Grizzlies are now 14 for 15 on the year. McDonnell with the puck. He battles. I thought it was McDonald, and the Idaho broadcaster thought so as well, but he had heard one of those rookie games with the Stars, and he heard it another way. 25 seconds left in the period. Action deep in the Grizzlies zone. It's Felton nearby. He gets dragged down by Hoffman. No call. Jalot with a pitch as he gets to Felton. As Jalot gets blasted by Hoffman. Boy, Hoffman and Pearson have been physical presence for Idaho. Bucata off a stick. Grizzlies out to neutralize. Nevers gets it jabbed away by Jalot. Nevers gets it back. 4 seconds left in the period. Nevers splits a double team, lays it for Cristodero. And time runs out in the second period. As the lone goal in the second was scored by Brendan Hoffman. 16:28 in with Canati and Tommy Bergslund getting the assists. When we come back, we will recap the first two periods and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. After 40 minutes of play, it's the Idaho Steelheads 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Second intermission here at Maverik Center, and the Grizzlies are looking for a comeback as Idaho leads 3-1. Steelheads took a 1-0 lead as Liam Malmquist got his third of the year. Pearson and Hershuk with the assist, time of goal 4:43 in. And then less than 3 minutes later, it was Nick Ports getting his first of the year with Punnett and Cristodero getting the assist. Grizzlies got on the board as John Jalot got his first pro goal 9:20 in. Jalot is the third different Grizzly to score his first pro goal this season. This Utah's fifth game of the campaign. Utah's 2-1-1 on the year. Salem and Grattan with the assist. Grattan now has a 3-game point scoring streak for Utah. And that made it a 2-1 game. Shots were even at 9 apiece in the first period. In the second frame, Idaho outshot Utah 12-6. And how about that for a crazy fact of the shot count? Grizzlies at 1 point at a 15-11 edge in the shot count. For my Kearns High math, I think Idaho took the final 10 shots of the second period. And now it's 21-11 or 21-15 in favor of the Steelheads through two periods. The only goal scored in the second frame was Brendan Hoffman, 16:28 in, with Nick Canati and Tommy Bergslund getting the assists. Scoring chances, Utah had 7 in the first period and 4 in the second. Idaho has 6 scoring chances in the first and 8 in the second. So 14 of the 21 Idaho shots have been considered to be scoring chances by the off-ice officials. In terms of the battle of the face-off circle, it's pretty close to even. Idaho with 19 face-off wins. The Grizzlies have 18. Idaho with 2 power play shots. Grizzlies don't have any, as Grizzlies haven't had a power play yet. Idaho is 0 for 3 on the man advantage. Utah so far this season is 14 for 15 on the penalty kill. Utah with 14 hits. Idaho has 9. Grizzlies with 9 giveaways, and Idaho has 4. In terms of the shot count for Utah, they've taken 15 through 2 periods. Christian Felton leads the way with 4 shots. Luke Salem has 3. Tyler Gratton has 2, and a bunch of other Grizzlies with 1 shot each. For Idaho, it's a very balanced shot attack. 7 different Idaho skaters with 2 shots on goal, and then another 7 with 1 shot each. So Idaho with a very balanced attack. Obviously, one of their best forwards is Ty Pelton-Weiss, who's out with a 9-game suspension. It's game 2 of the 9-game suspension as he delivered a nasty cross-check to the neck of a Tahoe Night Monster. And Mitch Wall, the former Grizzly, 35 years old, who spent the last 7 years in Germany. Wall is serving the first of a 2-game suspension. So Idaho leads 3-1, and this is the Grizzlies' final home opener in team history. And as we mentioned in the second period, it's the ultimate rubber match. Grizzlies have won 15 home openers, and they've lost 15. The official win-loss record is 15-13, 0-2 for the Grizzlies in home openers. They were 5-1 in home openers as a member of the International Hockey League the first 6 years that the Grizzlies were here in the Salt Lake Valley. First 2 of those seasons, the Grizzlies played over at Delta Center. They won the Turner Cup back in the 1995-96 season, and in the Turner Cup clinching Game 4, Grizzlies fans set a minor league pro hockey record for attendance in a single game. And at that point, I think everybody knew that hockey was big in the Salt Lake Valley. And certainly it was big then, and it's about as big as it's ever going to be, as hockey is no doubt the fastest growing sport in the state of Utah. Let's go over scores from around the league. In overtime, Kalamazoo defeats Iowa 5-4. Maine over Wheeling 7-3. Hudson picked up 3 goals for Maine in the victory. No former Grizzlies in the scoring sheet there. Adirondack defeats Trois-Rivières 4-1. 4 different goal scores for Adirondack. How about this for a wild game? Reading defeats Greensboro 8-7. Former Steelhead Dimitros Koumantzis had 2 goals for the Gargoyles. Logan Nelson, longtime Mountain Division player, had 2 goals as well for Greensboro. Meehan had the game winner for Reading. Former Grizzly Nathan Burke scored a goal for Reading. Reading 8, Greensboro 7. And that was a wild game that finished in overtime. Cincinnati defeats Indy 5-4. As Cincinnati got goals from 5 different players. Kevin Lombardi had 2 goals for Indy in the loss. That was an overtime game as Villio scored the game winner 40 seconds into the extra session as Cincinnati's record goes to 3-1 on the season. Game played at Fishers, Indiana, hometown of Mike Fulta. Savannah defeats Jacksonville 3-1. No former Grizzlies in the scoring sheet there. South Carolina defeats Greenville 2-1. Austin Saint had the lone goal for Greensville. Former Tahoe Night Monster Simone Pinard had a goal for the Stingrays. As South Carolina goes to 3-1 on the season, Greensville falls to 1-4. In overtime, Worcester defeats Norfolk 3-2. Toledo gets a 6-2 win over Bloomington. Once again, another goal for former Grizzly Chad Hillebrand, who's had an outstanding start of the year. Longtime Walleye, Brandon Hawkins, had a hat trick for the Walleye in the 6-2 victory over Bloomington. Kansas City gets a 4-1 win over the Allen Americans. The lone goal scored by Allen was former longtime Steelhead Matt Register, who scored 14:37 into the third. 2 empty netters scored by Kansas City made the final score look a little bit more lopsided than it really was. Kansas City was 0 for 7 on the power play. Allen was 0 for 4. And Kansas City defeats Allen 4-1. One other game in the league. Mikhail Stenell has 2 goals for Wichita. That game is tied 3-3. Wichita and Rapid City at the Monument tied at 3 after 40 minutes of play. A couple former Grizzlies on the scoring sheet for Rapid City. Briley Wood, who led Utah with 20 goals last season. He got the party started a minute 33 into the first period. And former Grizzly Cameron Buell added a first period goal 14:25 in. Grizzlies will face Rapid City a handful of times this season. And a couple former Grizzlies on the scoring sheet. When we come back, we'll go over some scores from around the world of sports, some NHL scores, as well as an update on Game 2 of the World Series. The score after 2 periods is the Idaho Steelheads 3, the Utah Grizzlies 1. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Game 2 of the World Series was tonight. Dodgers defeat the Blue Jays 5-1, as that best-of-7 series is tied 1 game apiece. The Blue Jays got a big victory last night, and the Dodgers responded. Yamamoto was big on the mound for the Dodgers. Will Smith was with 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a home run, as he was the big star for L.A. Dodgers defeat the Blue Jays 5-1 in Game 2 of the World Series. Just about a full slate in the National Hockey League. We'll go over some of those scores. The 2 games of local note, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, fall to Boston 3-2. Arturi Lehkonen with both of the Avalanche goals. And the Mammoth get a big performance from Logan Cooley once again. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. John Moreno had 1 goal and 2 assists. Nick Schmaltz also found the back of the net twice. Second one was on both of them, how about Schmaltz? 6 goals, 6 and 7 on the season. And Karel Vemelka was outstanding in net as he saved 33 of 35. Mammoth win 6-2. In a shootout, Predators defeat the Kings. That game just went final. 5-4 is the final score, as Nashville comes away with the extra standing point. First intermission, Kraken lead the Oilers 1-0. Finals in the NHL, Flyers defeat the Islanders 4-3. Lightning get a 4-3 win over Anaheim, but the only thing we want to talk about with that game is Charles-Edouard Dastu, who was in the lineup for the Tampa Bay Lightning, making his National Hockey League debut. Dastu is a superstar for the Grizzlies in the 2021-22 season, where he broke a league single-season playoff record with 19 goals, and that came in 18 games. Remember, Dastu's a defenseman. In overtime, Toronto defeats Buffalo 4-3. John Tavares with the game winner, 1:28 into the extra session. Panthers get a 17-save shutout from Sergei Bobrovsky as Florida defeats Vegas 3-0. Detroit beat St. Louis 6-4. Blues are having a tough time. In the shootout, Blue Jackets get a game winner from Marchenko as Columbus defeats Pittsburgh 5-4. Senators wallop the Capitals 7-1. Canucks over the Canadians over the Canucks 4-3. And the Stars, the NHL affiliate of the Idaho Steelheads, they defeat Carolina 3-2. Miro Heiskanen picked up the game winner on a power play, 11-18 into the third period. Some stats from the first 2 periods. They show on the video board the second period stats. Idaho with 8 scoring chances among their 12 shots. It was interesting to look at the shot count. At one point, it looked like it was highly in favor of the Grizzlies. At one point, the Grizzlies had a 15-11 advantage in the shot count, if I remember right. And Idaho responded with the final 10 shots of the second period, as they now lead it 21-15. Grizzlies will be looking for a third period comeback as Idaho's got a 2-goal lead. It's the second game of a home-and-home series. Both teams met at Idaho Central Arena last night for the Steelheads home opener, and the Grizzlies got a huge 5-0 victory as Dylan Wells picked up a 46-save shutout, and Reed Lepster had 3 goals and 1 assist. When we come back, we'll have third period action on the other side. Don't forget, this is just the start of a fun 4-game homestand for the Grizzlies. The Jacksonville Icemen will be in town for a 3-game series on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, October 29th, 30th, and 31st. Face-off all 3 nights will be at 7:10. When we come back, we'll have third period action. We'll return in 2 minutes. Once again, the score after 40 minutes of play, it's the Idaho Steelheads 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 1. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Now we're about set for third period action as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads. We mentioned it's the start of a 4-game homestand. Jacksonville will be in town October 29th, 30th, and 31st. The Grizzlies hit the ice. They skate 5-on-5 to start the third period. One of the highlights for the Grizzlies so far has been the penalty kill. Idaho with 2 power play shots. They've had 3 power play chances, and the Grizzlies are a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, and they came into play tonight with a hot penalty kill at 91.7%, as they were 11 for 12 on the PK coming into play tonight. And right now they're 14 for 15. And really, if you look about some of the things that the Grizzlies wanted to improve on from last season to this, the penalty kill was probably the first, second, and third thing that they were thinking about. John Buchanan and his staff, Ryan Anderson, Jack Skilley have done a great job, and the penalty kill's been sharp to start the season. We'll see how aggressive the Grizzlies get early on in this third period as they try to climb back into the game. As we mentioned, Idaho, if my Kearns high math is correct, took the last 10 shots of the second period. We'll see what the Grizzlies can do to generate some offense. Utah's a little bit shorthanded, rolling with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen, as Avery Winslow's out with an upper body injury, and Garrett Pike dealing with a family matter. He is out of town, and Pike will probably be back when the Grizzlies face the Icemen next week in that big 3-game series. For my money, it's one of the best rivalries in the league. Grizzlies and Steelheads, most years, they will meet about 14 or 15 times in the regular season. There was one year, if you count up the 2 preseason games, the 18 games in the regular season, and then 6 games in the postseason, that was just a couple years ago. These teams met 26 times. They show the highlights of the second period. Dryden McCabe with an outstanding save, sprawling towards his left. Grizzlies will start the third period with the forward line of Adam Berg, Griffin Ness and Jack Ricketts, a defensive pairing of Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Idaho starts out with Ports taking the drawings out there with Chris Tadero and Francisco Arcuri, and defensive pairing of Tommy Bergslund and Matt Anderson. Linesman Andrew Collins is at center ice. And as he drops the puck, and we're underway with action in the third period with Idaho leading 3-1. Bergslund will roll it along the boards as it taps off the glass, and Salem in the area battles with Ports deep in the Grizzly zone. Utah skates from right to left here in the third period. Idaho from left to right. Berg battles along the boards with Salem. Ness looking nearby as he screens our Curry. Gansky looking nearby. As Grizzlies do have an advantage there. Chris Tadero holding his ground as Berg comes out with a puck. As Gansky continues to pin Idaho to the boards. Somehow Idaho gets a shot off from the right side. McKay makes a save. Ness loses the puck at center ice. Ricketts near the Grizzlies bench. Tadero just shielded his way around Ricketts and fires on to McKay at neutral ice. Both teams will make their first line change of the third period. As Gansky over to Hanson Buchanan. Wearing number 20, the Ohio State product. Before that, had 4 successful years at the Rochester Institute of Technology. Gansky had to get around a Steelhead, and because of that, the timing was messed up. Utah's offside with 19:04 left in the third. Tyler Gratton on the ice. He's the new Grizzlies captain this season. Danny Genev will take the draw. He's out there with Jack Ricketts. Ricketts, a first-year pro. He's got an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. Grizzlies actually have 3 players on their roster that have Roadrunners contracts and 4 who have contracts with Colorado. We might have a delay of game penalty, and it looks like Sam Jardine, he was in his own zone, just lifted it, and it went out of play. Now the 3 officials are talking it over. Jardine points and says the faceoff's going to be in the Steelhead zone, and it will be because Jardine gave a fan a souvenir from his own end, and he's going to serve 2 minutes. Delay of game is going to be the call as a fan in row 1 looks at the game puck. And she looks at it with a great deal of intent. And a guy in an Adam Banks Mighty Ducks jersey, boy, he's living his best life, for no doubt about that. You know, you see a lot of those Charlie Conway Ducks jerseys. Good to see Adam Banks get a little bit of recognition. Banks actually broke a Hawks goal record in a single game against the Mighty Ducks. That was back when it was just District 5 and the Ducks were not the Ducks. Idaho wins the draw. They spin it along the far wing boards. Adam Banks had a ton of potential. I wonder what happened to him in his pro career. Assuming there was a pro career, he was the most skilled of the Mighty Ducks players. As Kurt Gowdy would say from his broadcasting friends, what about the game? Hanson Buchanan dumps it in from center ice, and the Steelheads roll it along the near wing boards. Hanson Buchanan will race after it deep in the Grizzlies zone. We played 1.5 minutes of this third period. Idaho shorthanded for the next minute 25. Ricketts crosses center ice, steps over the offensive line, make that Lepster. Lepster over to Shea, back to up top to Voigt, who moves to his right, drops for Hanson Buchanan, high slot, lefty shot, and didn't get all of it. Bergslund will clear it all the way out. As Craig Peterson, the linesman, had to get out of the way. McKay outlets it to Voigt. Voigt pivots, reverses field. He'll slide it to Hanson Buchanan at center ice, dangling back and forth. AHB gets it over towards Gratton. Gratton loses his balance. He tried to avoid the check of a Steelhead, and Idaho clears it all the way out. Grizzlies make a line change. Salem with the puck as fans take up a Let's Go Grizzlies chant. Idaho leads 3-1. Salem over to Ness. Ness at center ice will kick it off, and Idaho skate to Genayev. Danny Genayev out to center ice as he gets tripped up, and that's going to be a penalty. Idaho touches up. It's going to be a 33-second 5-on-3. And now Griffin Ness is going after it with Punnett. Punnett wants Ness to lose his cool to pick up a penalty, as Grizzlies will have a 5-on-3 for 33 seconds. Critical sequence here as Utah tries to climb back in the game. As Punnett tripped up Danny Genayev. Now Nick Canati, the referee, talking things over as the Grizzlies are drawing up a play. Ryan Anderson in particular. And yeah, it is a critical sequence, 5-on-3 for 33 seconds. As Punnett, very dangerous play, just stuck his right leg out, and Genayev went flying. And that's why Griffin Ness went after Punnett. And with that, looks like it's going to be a 2-minute penalty on Punnett. Grizzlies didn't call timeouts, but it looked like they were able to get the clipboard out, and Ryan Anderson was able to drop a play. So draw is going to be in the Steelhead zone left circle. Utah will have Reed Lepster out there with Neil Shea, Hanson Bukata, Ty Voigt, and Tyler Gratton. Two minutes for kneeing. Roger Orn, the head off ice official, said could have been 5. We saw a major penalty late in regulation with Mitch Wall. Grizzlies are probably hoping that they could somehow get 5 minutes out of it. But the referee only gets one look at it. So just a basic 2-minute kneeing penalty. And the Grizzlies hope that this is their opportunity to climb back into the game. Referee Hunter Mottinger is going to go talk with Grizzlies head coach John Buchanan. It's Buchanan's first game here at Maverik Center. Remember, both preseason games were in the state of Idaho. Tyler Gratton talking things over with Reed Lepster. Actually, it's Neil Shea's talking to. Now Gratton communicating with Ty Voigt. Idaho leads 3-1, but the Grizzlies have a glimmer of hope here with this 5-on-3 power play. Gratton will crouch down low to take the face-off against Brendan Hoffman. Face-offs over in the left circle. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Draw one by Utah. Hanson Bukata over in the left point. He'll get it to Voigt in the right point. Voigt will move towards the high slot to get to Bukata. One-timer, and it goes wide. Boy, that one whistled past Meyer. As Voigt feeds to the left goal line for Lepster. Lepster up top to Bukata. Bukata left circle, centers it out in front. Now goes to Lepster. Shot to score! Reed Lepster gets his 4th of the year, and it was scored 5-on-3 as it's now a 3-2 game. Boy, Lepster is just hanging out the left goal line. Got the puck and kind of fired on a sharp angle past Nolan Meyer. And with it being scored on a 5-on-3, one guy comes out of the penalty box, but Punnett stays in. Jardine came out of the box, and the Grizzlies will have a 5-on-4 power play for 1:41. As looked like the Grizzlies tried to center it out in front to Gratton. Might have glanced off a Gratton stick on towards Lepster, and Lepster was able to fire before Meyer was able to react to his right. So Lepster with the goal, Gratton and Hanson Bukata with the assists. That's Gratton's 2nd assist of the game, and Aiden Hanson Bukata, who had 3 assists last night, now has 4 assists. And this is just his 2nd game as a Grizzly. Hanson Bukata was an assist machine. Over the last 3 years at the college level, he led the Ohio State University with 29 assists last year. He had 2 outstanding seasons where he had around 30 assists for RIT. So it's 3-2 Idaho, but the Grizzlies with the goal from Lepster. He now has 4 goals in this weekend series, and Utah feels like they've got a lot of momentum. 17:09 is the time remaining in the 3rd period, and 1:39 left in the power play. Fans chant, "Let's go Grizzlies" here in the final home opener in team history. One of the things I kind of wrestle with every night is trying to figure out just how much to mention the final season. It's just something that the Grizzlies and everybody around the teams had to embrace. Just the knowledge of knowing that next season the Grizzlies are going to be in Trenton, New Jersey. Gratton will take the draw against Hoffman. Same 5 on the ice for the Grizzlies. This is the time of game where you know who the coach trusts because he's going to be on the ice right now in these sort of situations. Bukata with the puck. He's an outstanding first-year defenseman. As he'll drop it for Shea. Gets to center ice. Shea crosses center ice down the middle. Dangles back and forth. Steps over the offensive line to Gratton. Gratton throws it past Voigt as it ricochets off the near boards. Idaho looking for a rink-wide feed, and Hanson Bukata picked it off as Hoffman was trying to get it to Miller, who was behind Gratton. Voigt chips it to Shea. Left side shot saved by Shea. Rebound glanced off of Voigt's stick. Voigt on the back check. It's taken away by Hoffman. Puck rolls towards center ice. Grizzlies reset a new tries as Gratton down the middle of the ice takes a lefty shot that goes just wide. Boy, he missed the net by, well, Maxwell Smart would say missed it by that much. Shea up top to Voigt. Voigt moves to his right. He's now on the right point. Lays it for Hanson Bukata over to Shea. Shea just outside the left circle. Bounce one. Now centering pass Lepster. Shot saved by Meyer. Boy, Lepster looking for a 2nd of the game and 5th of the series. As Hanson Bukata stick let him down. He gets a new one from J.J. McFarland. Lepster over to Voigt right side. Voigt bounces one to Shea. Goes over a stick. And the Grizzlies try to keep it in, but it goes out to center ice. Salem had replaced Hanson Bukata. Less than 30 seconds left in Utah's power play. Puck around the boards. Griffin Ness. Grizzlies make a half line change. Shea's still out there with Lebster. Shea gets the puck in the left wing, skates towards the circle, gets to Lebster. Now back to Shea. Shea to Lebster at the near goal line. Now back towards Shea off an Idaho stick. Shea will bounce one looking for Ness. It goes past him all the way to the right corner. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. 5 seconds left in the power play. Grizzlies trying to get towards Lebster. It's forced off of Hershuk. Hershuk gets the puck. He'll sweep one towards neutral ice, looking for Punnett. Salem picks it off. Salem at neutral ice. Now he accelerates around Kanadi, but the Grizzlies are offside as Salem tried to wait for everybody else to enter, but carried the puck in the zone. Grizzlies were still there. So Grizzlies had some good looks there. Lebster in particular. There was a centering pass from Gratton that connected, and Meyer made a good shoulder save. 15:23 is left in the third period. I knew I should have brought some water high atop section 114. As, a lot of things, you got to get your voice in shape as well. Hopefully I'll have enough voice to carry through the rest of the game. It's been a fun one here so far. Grizzlies win the draw. Felton whips it around the wall. There's action deep in the Steelhead zone. Jalot's on the ice with Friesen. Bergler's nearby. As Idaho comes out with the puck. Nick Ports has played a good game. On the back check is Jalot. Ports over the offensive line. Stops before he gets belted by Felton. As Berg gets the puck, he's towards Dryden McKay's left shoulder. As action over in the corner. Now Grant Gansky skates around McKay's net. Grizzlies cross center ice. Gansky will fire it around the wall as it hits the top of the boards behind Meyer's net. Friesen in the area, as well as Chris Dodaro. And our Curry will bounce one towards Ports. Taking the puck off of Ports' stick is Anderson. He'll left wing it towards Dodaro. Dodaro back towards the left corner around Utah's net and around Colby Enns. Enns gives Ports a rough ride towards the corner boards. Our Curry keeps the puck. He gets up top to Charlie Dodaro. Back towards our Curry. Now Chris Dodaro feeds up top to his brother Charlie. Back across. Puck exited the zone. Jardine dumps it in deep. Idaho touches up. We get an offside call. Faceoff's going to be at neutral ice with 14:21 left in the third. Tyler Gratton is hoping and begging that the faceoff's going to be back in the Steelhead zone. And he might get his wish granted. Faceoff is going to be in the Idaho zone with 14:21 left in the third. Gratton's been a strong team leader for the Grizzlies. He's in the right wing. Janaev will take the drives out there with Lebster as well. Luke Salem, he's been outstanding as a Grizzly so far this season. He's been in the right place at the right point. Grizzlies win the draw. Felton in the right point. Helicopters towards the net, and Janaev gets hit in the back as the shot was blocked over in the right circle. Nevers, rink-wide feed, goes tape to tape. And dumping it in all the way was McDonnell. As McDonnell with the puck, he's over in the right point. As Salem dove at his feet. Now left side. Gratton has the puck as Holmes took a swipe at Gratton. Lebster across to Felton. As Felton back in his own zone, he'll lay it for Salem. He gets it towards Lebster. Lebster had Holmes chasing after him. Lebster will bounce one. Janaev tried to play soccer at center ice to corral the puck. Went past him towards the Steelheads bench. Utah makes a change. He played 6.5 minutes of this third period. Idaho leads 3-2. Grizzlies looking to keep the momentum after the power play goal that was scored 5-on-3 by Reed Lebster. He has 4 goals in this series. Pearson to the right side gets bounced to the boards by Hanson Bukata. Steinmetz gets cut off by Gansky as Steinmetz was pursuing the puck. Grizzlies have it deep in their own end. Bukata will wobble it out towards center ice. It goes over Punnett's stick as Hershuk spins one towards the Idaho bench. Now Hershuk gets it back. Will get it to Punnett. We played 7 minutes in this third period. Steelheads lead 3-2. Idaho's outshot Utah 22-18. Not very many shots either side. Idaho dumps it in as Gansky spills Steinmetz. That's going to be a penalty on Gansky. Delayed penalty. Arm is raised by referee Hunter Mottinger. Grizzlies touch it up. And Idaho can't believe it. They thought that play should continue. As Caleb Pearson yelling at Craig Peterson. Timeout on the ice. 12:53 is left in the third period. And it looks like it's going to be a power play for the Steelheads. Tripping's going to be the call. We'll come back in 1 minute. The new score is Idaho 3, Utah 2. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Noah Gansky gets 2 minutes for tripping. Time a penalty. Is 7:07 into the third period. Idaho looking for some insurance. Grizzlies looking for the tying goal. Draws over in the left circle. And it's Luke Salem taking the draw for the Grizzlies. Second straight night where a defenseman's taken faceoffs in the defensive zone shorthanded. Wonder if there's a method there from John Buchanan. I'm pretty sure there is. The Grizzlies back deep in their own zone. McKay looks over his right shoulder, action behind the net. Salem over there. I meant to talk with John Buchanan, but couldn't run into him before the game. As puck spins along the near wing wall off the scrum, and it goes all the way deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies will get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. As Pearson over the offensive line right side, throws it in front of the net, and cutting off is Jack Ricketts. He did a good job in cutting off Malmquist, and the Grizzlies clear it out. Boy, great defensive play by Ricketts. If he wasn't there, Malmquist would have had a grade A chance. Idaho's Charlie Dodaro out to neutralize. He'll drop it back. Bergson will get it. He'll feed it to his left for our Curry. Our Curry over the line, tries to split a double team. Puck slides towards the left point, kept in by Matt Anderson. Anderson to the left goal line as Idaho will get it up top to Bergslund. Bergslund will sweep one to our Curry. Our Curry drifted to his left as Anderson will feed it towards the far goal line. Idaho spreads the ice in the offensive zone. Shot by Ports is blocked away by Felton as our Curry. 43 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Bergslund over to Ports, back to the left side. As Anderson over to Bergslund, over to our Curry. One-timer off a Hanson Bukata stick. Rebound shot saved by McKay. And Hanson Bukata, I wonder if he got a Steelhead with a high stick. As Ports is laying on the ice, Hanson Bukata looks nearby. Boy, Bukata just blocked the shot with a stick, rolled towards McKay. Idaho with a second chance, and McKay made a big save to keep it a one-goal contest. Now, are they going to give Hanson Bukata a penalty? Ports holding his face. If he were hit with a high stick, it might have been something where Bukata raised his stick and then Ports got himself with his own stick. As they didn't call it, well, let's see if a penalty gets called. Grattan looking nearby. Oh, it's going to be a penalty on Aiden Hanson Bukata. So it's going to be a 5-on-3 for 34 seconds. High sticking is going to be the call. Is it 2 minutes or 4? As Ports looks over his face. 11:27 is the time remaining, third period. As Ports looking for the rebound. And then Bukata just whacked him upside the head, and it's going to be a 4-minute penalty. Double minor for high sticking for Aiden Hanson Bukata. He tried to lift Ports' stick and instead got Ports right in the face. Ports will take the draw against Jack Ricketts. Grizzlies have had some big penalty kills, and they're going to need a huge one here halfway through the third period. Idaho leads 3-2. Grizzlies shorthanded 5-on-3 for 3 seconds. Grizzlies whip it around the boards and goes past Anderson all the way deep into the Idaho zone. Idaho around their net. As Bergslund races to center ice. He'll push to his left. Our Curry steps over the offensive blue, skates to the left goal line. He'll reverse it back to Bergslund, who's over in the right point. Cross to Anderson. And so feed towards left side. Trying to get to our Curry back along the right wing. He swung and missed on a one-time attempt. Bergslund over our Curry right wing. And so dangle towards the high slot. Moves towards his left. Our Curry all alone. Left side shot is blocked away by the stick of Colby Enns. Out of the box is Noah Gansky, and he'll clear it all the way out. So it's now a 5-on-4 power play for Idaho for the next 3:15. As Idaho, our Curry gets towards the left side. Backhand shot saved by McKay. As Anderson had a pretty good look. He made a nice move. McKay made a big stop. Bergslund over to Canadi. Back up top to Bergslund. Across to Anderson in the left wing. He'll feed it to our Curry. Our Curry looking to center it. Surveys now, gets it back up top to Anderson. He slides it to Bergslund in the high slot. Bergslund fakes a shot. Gets it towards Anderson in the left wing. Now to our Curry left circle. Take a lefty shot. See, rebound shot. And then the second attempt goes wide by Chris Dodaro. Idaho gets it back up top. They're in the offensive zone. Anderson will move it to the right side for Kanadi. 10:05 on a moving clock. Third period. Anderson to Arcuri. Left side, takes a lefty shot. And that's blocked. And the Grizzlies clear it out. Looked like the shot hit off of Chris Dodaro as he will skeet towards the bench, favoring his shoulder. 2:22 left in the power play. Still in the first half of the double minor. As Pearson tried to dump it in, it's taken away, and John Jalot clears it back out. Idaho resets. Charlie Dodaro back in his own zone. Grizzlies have 4 guys at new tries. Right wing feed connects to Pearson. Pearson around Jalot as he'll get towards the left side. Idaho siren pass. It's cut off. Jalot was nearby with McKay as Colby ends nearby. Friesen holds his ground behind Utah's net. McKay looks over his right shoulder. Puck back up top. Now Dodaro gets on the right side. They'll lay it for Malmquist. Malmquist over to the left side. One-timer saved by McKay. And he holds on. Boy, they found Pearson for a one-timer over in the left circle. He had plenty on the low liner, but McKay was able to make the stop and hold on. Well, they were starting to trickle in front of the crease, and then McKay was able to dive and cover up. No good job by Noah Gansky in boxing out Jade Miller for the puck. 9:12 is the time remaining here in the third period. 1:45 left in the power play. We're now in the second half of the double minor for high sticking. Idaho's scoring's been pretty balanced so far. Draws over in the left circle. Luke Manning will take it for the Grizzlies. Idaho wins the faceoff. Dodaro over to the left wing for Malmquist. He gets pushed by Salem. Idaho at the far goal line. Gets towards Pearson, right side. His shot's blocked by Manning. Left side shot saved by McKay. Puck still alive. Shot saved by McKay again. Foot race towards the near boards. Idaho comes out with it first. Pearson from Kanadi. It's knifed away by Luke Manning. Manning gets the puck at center ice. He's got a breakaway. Manning skates to the left side. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Meyer. As Meyer made a stick save with his right. As Manning went stick side on him on a breakaway. 1:11 left in the power play and counting. Pearson over to Miller. Back around the boards. Pearson chasing after it as Felton boxes him out in front of the boards. Dodaro over to the left side. Arcuri will take a lefty shot, and that's sticked away by his teammate Ports. Back up top to Arcuri. He's in the left point. Fans take a let's go Grizzlies chant. Arcuri to the right side. Gets to Charlie Dodaro. Over to Ports down the middle of the ice. Looking for a backhand shot. Gansky cuts him off. Bergslund whips it around the boards. If the Grizzlies can kill off this penalty, they'll get a ton of momentum out of it. Ports in the right point. Over to Bergslund. Idaho leads 3-2. About 8 minutes left. Anderson, left side, fires to the net. Shoulder saved by McKay. And Gansky will fire it past Anderson and all the way down towards Steelheads ice. Grizzlies make a full line change. 23 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Bergslund out to center ice. He'll roll it along the wall. Ends back to Salem. Salem in the area. Now the Grizzlies will carry it with Griffin Ness. Ness out to new tries. Puck wobbles on him. He tries to get to Ricketts, pass behind him. Ricketts behind Idaho's net. Now Jack Ricketts will throw it back to new tries for Salem. Coming out of the penalty box right now is Aiden Hansen-Bukata as the Grizzlies' penalty kill's been unbelievable in this series. Still 3-2 Idaho. Fans on their feet. They're having a good time. 7:17 left in the third period. Bergslund skies it towards McKay. Puck ricochets off the ice on one hop towards the end boards. Ness in the area over to Arcuri. Ends collides with them. 2-on-2 battle. As Salem holds his ground on Hoffman. As Salem continues to hold off Hoffman, even though Hoffman's got a size advantage. Ricketts with the puck. He gets belted by Holmes. Puck ricochets at center ice. Hoffman holds up Ness. Hoffman overpowers Ness. Ness collides with Salem. Hoffman having some words for Salem as Hoffman skates towards the bench. Hoffman likes to be very vocal towards the opposition, tries to intimidate them a little bit. Grizzlies will dump it in. 6:35 on a moving clock, third period. It's 3-2 Idaho. As the Steelheads will carry it, but it's offside with 6:29 left in the third. So draw's going to be at new tries. Our fans are into it. Attendance tonight, 5,761. Grizzlies averaged just over 5,000 fans per game last year, which would just about fill Idaho Central Arena. Draw new try. Stanley Janiav will take it against Jordan Steinmetz. Steinmetz scoreless this season. It's actually his first game of the year for Idaho. Out to center ice after the Grizzlies win the draw. Gratton collides with Punnett as Lepster takes over the puck. He gets hit. Grizzlies back at the far goal line. Now around the net. As dancing around is Christian Felton. Felton gets hit by Punnett. Felton goes down. As he gets back to his feet, Punnett delivers another push on Felton. As coming up with the puck is Nevers. Idaho will sky it just under the video board. Hansi Bukata will look to get the wobbling puck. Icing is called on Idaho with 5:57 left in the third. So draw is going to be back towards Nolan Meyer. And with icing being called, no media timeout as of yet. Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Voigt and Neil Shea. Gansky and Salem are the two defensemen. For the Grizzlies, they've taken 18 shots. Idaho has taken 27. Very balanced shooting attack. Christian Felton has 4 shots to lead the Grizzlies. Luke Salem has 3. Draw one by Idaho as Connor Punnett will carry it out to neutralize. He'll cross the center red line and he'll chip it in. Salem races after it as he gets pushed towards the near corner boards by McDonnell. Shea near the Grizzlies bench. Backhands it ahead to Manning. Manning steps over the offensive line, accelerates around to Darrow. Manning's an outstanding skater. Gets towards the left corner, loses his balance. He falls down. Jardine pushes Manning once, twice. Idaho will pitchfork it out to center ice. Aiden Hansen Buchanan over to the left wing for Voigt off his stick. As puck towards the near side, Canadi moves it out to center ice. Ness gets a loose puck and new tries. He'll feed it back to Colby Enns. Enns dangles back and forth. Hot pass to Ness off his stick as the puck skies into the Steelhead zone. Meyer over towards the near side as Idaho will wobble it. Airborne about 15 feet. Miller gets the loose puck. It's jammed away by a Grizzly and Colby Enns, who's played a great game. Out to center ice, Jack Ricketts. Steps over the offensive line, right side. Ricketts with a lefty shot and it goes wide as it ricochets off the protective netting. As there's 4:55 left in the third. Idaho leads Utah 3-2. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
We have 4:55 left in regulation as Idaho leads Utah 3-2. We've seen a fun one here in the 31st and final home opener in Utah Grizzlies history. Utah's 15-13, 0-2 in home openers. Idaho's outshot Utah 27-19. Grizzlies have goals from John Gillott and Reed Lepster. Lepster has 4 goals in this 2-game series. Idaho has goals from Liam Malmquist, Nick Ports, and Brendan Hoffman. Dryden McKay's done a good job keeping the Grizzlies in it. He has saved 24 of 27. Draws in the right circle. It's an offensive zone face-off for Utah. As Griffin Ness will take the drives out there with Adam Berg and Jack Ricketts. Ricketts gets hit up high. No call. He wants a high stick. Idaho moves out to center ice. Now back into the Grizzlies zone. Felton left wings it out to Berg at center ice. Berg will toss it to Ricketts. Ricketts gloved it and dropped it. Ricketts raises his stick with Holmes. As Ness behind Idaho's net, skates towards the right corner. He gets a good belt from Idaho. As Berg over to the right side, skates back towards the offensive corner. Curry takes it away. He'll sky it just under the video board. Puck kept opposite of the Grizzlies zone as Salem gets it to Felton. Felton wings it ahead left side to Ness off his stick. Ness chasing after it. Punt it behind his net. Will drift it around the boards. Puck goes over Lepster, sticking out to center ice. Well, we saw the puck play a lot of tricks in Boise. It looks like the same case is here at Maverik Center. As Lepster out of neutral ice, he tried to get it towards Gansky. It went past him and all the way down for an icing. As the play stops with 4:01 left in the third. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off as the Grizzlies begin a 3-game series against Peter Tischke and the Jacksonville Icemen. After tonight, Grizzlies and Steelheads will meet 5 more times, but oddly enough, they will not play, and they show a replay. Ricketts got an elbow like Karl Malone did to David Robinson back in 1998. I was really sad about that because I wanted to see David Robinson play and only got to see him play like 2 minutes. Linesman Andrew Collins says, my bad, we'll do the draw over again. And then Karl Malone got a 1-game suspension, but luckily that 1 game was against the pathetic LA Clippers, who at that time, the Clippers were about as bad as it gets. I think that year they won about, 15, 16 games. Draw won by the Grizzlies as Gansky gets it ahead. Lepster will move it to the left side for Genev. Be a good time for his first pro goal. Grattan left side, fires towards the net, sticked away by Myers. It flies out of play off the protective netting. 3:50 left in the third period. Idaho leads 3-2. After last night's game where Utah won 5-0, both teams got on a bus, made the 5-hour trek out to the Salt Lake Valley for tonight's Grizzlies home opener. Genev will take the drives out there with Grattan and Reed Lepster. Wait, what? Lepster's done just about everything in this series. 3 goals and 1 assist last night. Scored the third period goal to cut into Idaho's lead. That was a 5-on-3 goal scored 2:49 in. Grattan and Hanson Bukata with the assists. I actually don't think that was the time of the goal. It was about halfway through the third period. Off a Grattan stick down the middle of the ice. Now Gansky getting after it with Schmaltz. With Steinmetz. And no penalty in the play as Gansky holds his face. He thought he was hit with a high stick. Steinmetz having some words with Genev. It's going to be an offensive zone draw for Utah with 3:31 left in the third. It's the speedy forward line of Shea, Manning, and Voider on the ice. The fan chugs the beer, and I bet he's going to smash it over his head. You bet. There he is. He's fired up. He's in a fishing jersey, fishing jersey. Grizzlies fishing jersey. He actually won a league award. As the Grizzlies on February 15th hooked the Steelheads 6-5. Derek Dashke had the overtime game winner. Manning's had a good game. He'll take the draw for Utah. This time it's won by Idaho. As they'll move it out to center ice, Felton on 2 knees gets pushed by Hoffman. Hoffman and Felton continue to collide. Hoffman pushes Felton towards Miller. Hoffman has delivered several big hits. Out to neutral ice, puck goes on to Meyer. We'll throw it around his net. 3:15 on a moving clock, third period. Idaho leads 3-2. Felton battles along the far wing wall with Hershuk. Hershuk will nudge it ahead towards Grizzlies ice. Utah takes it away. Salem to Shea in the left wing. Shea out to neutral ice. Will sky one on to Meyer. We'll just use his blocker to kick it towards the near corner. Now the whistle blows. As the stick went breaking, slashing is going to be the call, and it looks like Utah's going to get a power play. 2:55 left in the third period. It's going to be a Grizzlies power play. Slashing is going to be the call, and Charlie Dodaro goes to the box. Idaho's outshot Utah 28-21. This is a golden opportunity for the Grizzlies to tie it up. The Grizzlies' brain trust talks it over. Mechanic with Anderson and Jack Skilly. Grizzlies will have the 5 on the ice of Lepster, Shea, Grattan, Voigt, and the defenseman's Hanson Bukata. Manning had a stick break, and that's where the penalty got called by Dodaro, as they were battling for a loose puck over in the near corner. Time at Dodaro's penalty is 17:05 into the third period. Grant will take the draw against Brendan Hoffman. Hoffman right now has what would be listed as a game winner. He scored Idaho's third goal of the game, which was 16:28 into the second period. Idaho wins the draw. Anderson around their net. He lifts it out of play. It got redirected by the glass, though. So no delay of game. As Draw's going to come back into the Idaho zone. Anderson skated around his net and tried to clear it out. Tapped it off the glass now to play. 2:50 left in the third period. Idaho at 27 shots. Grizzlies have 22. Grattan talking things over with Shea. Grattan was a captain at Arizona State University during the 2023-24 season. That was when Arizona State was sharing Mullet Arena with the Arizona Coyotes. Draw one by Idaho. Anderson with the puck. He'll spin it. Pass Voigt off his glove, and it hits somebody on the Steelheads bench. It didn't hit Jay Stevens, as he made sure to stay out of the way. So the draw is going to come back into the Steelhead zone. High drama, smoke him if you got him. We'll keep an eye on McKay to see if he comes out for the extra attacker. Idaho's Jade Miller killing a little bit of time as he cleans off his visor. Miller's taken a ton of the big face-offs for Idaho over the years. Reed Lebster will take the draw for the Grizz. Lebster kind of delaying the inevitable face-off. He will slowly get to the circle as Miller and Lebster crouch down, waiting for the linesman to drop the puck. And it's dropped, one by Idaho, as Bergslund will sell it all the way towards McKay. McKay in the crease will lay it for Hanson Bukata. Bukata with an assist tonight. Gonna roll it back to Lebster. Lebster with a third period goal that got the Grizzlies back into it. Over to Shea in the left wing. Shea dances back and forth in the point, dangles the puck. He'll get it towards Lebster. Lebster back to Shea. Over to Hanson Bukata. Now to Shea. He's in the left wing. Back to Hanson Bukata. Over to Shea. Shea to Lebster. Near goal line. Lebster back towards Shea. One-timer, and it goes wide. 2:08 left in the third. Bukata tried to get the puck, and Miller dove to clear it out. Boy, good effort by the fourth-year Steelhead. Now we got the 2 minutes of madness, and if the Grizzlies score here in the final 2 minutes, we will have madness for sure. Halfway through the power play, as Lebster crosses center ice. Steps over the offensive line, pushes the puck towards the right corner and chases after it. Steelheads get there a stride ahead of him. 2-on-2 battle. Grattan in the area. Voigt feeds up top to Bukata in the right point. McKay's coming off to the extra attacker. Utah's net is empty as Bukata over to the right side for Lebster off the boards. Lebster gets pushed by Hershuk. Grizzlies get to Voigt. He's in the right wing, trying to locate the puck. It's at his ankles. He finally spots it. Gets to Bukata. Over to Shea in the left wing. Back to Bukata. He'll feed it to the right side for Voigt. Voigt, righty shot, save. Rebound goes to Idaho. They tried to clear it up, but not out. Good job by Hanson Bukata keeping it in. Over to Shea in the left wing. He'll take a lefty shot. It goes wide. He missed the net. Glove side, stick side on Meyer. A minute left. 5 seconds left in the power play for the Grizzlies. Their net is empty. Dodaro stands up in the penalty box. Hanson Bukata fakes a shot, gets to Voigt. Right side. He'll take a shot, and it's blocked. Coming out of the box. Dodaro gets in front of Hanson Bukata. Both guys battle. Dodaro gets the puck, skates around Bukata. He'll fire a backhander towards the empty net, and he scores. This baby's in the refrigerator. Charlie Dodaro gives the Steelheads a 4-2 lead with 45 seconds left in regulation. Grizzlies had some looks. Well, Shea had a pretty good look from the left wing, but just missed the net. Dodaro came out of the box. Puck drifted towards him. He was able to box his way around Hanson Bukata. As Charlie Dodaro gets his first goal of the season. With that, a lot of the fans here at Maverik Center are heading for the exits. Idaho wins the draw, and they'll bounce one in. Scores 4-2. We've seen some miracles of crazy proportion here at Maverik Center. As Gansky out towards center ice. Trying to get it towards Jelana. Went past him, but no icing on the play. 25 seconds left. As Jelana gets the puck in the right wing. Dances back and forth on a double team. Hoffman takes it away. Hoffman back towards the far wing boards. Jelana, who scored his first professional goal 9:20 into the first period. Jelana gets cut off by Bergslund. 12 seconds left. Up top to Gansky. Gansky fires a righty shot. Glove saved by Meyer. He holds on. The save was made about shoulder high. So that looks like Idaho is going to come away with the win. Their record's going to go to 3-2 on the season. and they will be 3-1 on the road. For the Grizzlies, looks like in team history, their record in the home openers will be 15-14-0-2. Good job by the Grizzlies battling back after being down 3-1. Lepster scored the 5-on-3 power play goal, but Grizzlies had a power play late in regulation, but just couldn't find a way to get that tying goal as Idaho buckled down defensively. Icing called on Idaho with 3 seconds left in regulation. Evan Friesen will take the draw for the Grizzlies. McKay is in net for the Grizzlies right now. Luke Salem and Christian Felton led the way with 4 shots. John Gillott scored his first pro goal, and Reed Lepster added 1 in the third period. He still heads with a very balanced attack. Come away with the 2 standings points. Nobody for Idaho, incidentally enough, had more than 1 point, but just about everybody contributed. Idaho got goals from Liam Malmquist, Nick Ports, Brendan Hoffman, and Charlie Dodaro, who scored on an empty net in the third period. As the Grizzlies got goals from John Gillott and Reed Lepster. Tyler Gratton led the way with 2 assists for Utah. As the Grizzlies salute their fans here at Maverik Center. A good Saturday night crowd of 5,761. So Steelheads defeat the Grizzlies 4-2. The season series between the clubs is now 1 game apiece as both teams went on the road this weekend. Utah got a 5-0 victory last night. Tonight, Steelheads come away with a 4-2 victory, getting a little bit of revenge from last night. And with that, we'll start the post-game report. I'm Tyson Whiting as the Grizzlies came into play. Their 31st season in the Salt Lake Valley, and it's their final season, and there's a lot of emotion. There was a tribute to Kevin Bruder before the game, and I got a little bit emotional, and it was certainly touching to see. It was the first home game the Grizzlies have had since he passed away on May 11th, and he just meant everything to this Grizzlies franchise, and it was certainly a great tribute before the game. 3 of his children were out to drop the ceremonial puck before the game, and with that, the Grizzlies were hoping to get off to a fast start, but it was the Steelheads that scored the first 2 goals of the game. Liam Malmquist found the back of the net for 43 in, but before that, there was a goal that was disallowed as there was a centering pass out to Nick Ports, and Ports with a kicking motion, literally kicking the puck in the back of the net. It was one of those things. They looked at the tablet briefly, but it was really mostly a conversation that the 3 officials had. I wonder if the video replay system was even in effect tonight, because it didn't look like they looked at that tablet for more than a couple seconds. They did more talking than they did anything else. They came up with the right call, though, as the goal was disallowed. 4:05 in, and then just 38 seconds later is when Malmquist got his 3rd of the year with Pearson and Hershuk getting the assist. And it was really Hershuk that made the play. He was deep in his own zone, threw a rink-wide feed, and went tape-to-tape towards Malmquist, and Malmquist played catch with Pearson for a little bit, and then Malmquist towards the net was on the left wing, and he fired it stick side past Dryden McKay. Idaho extended the lead to 2-0 as Nick Ports got his first of the year 7:30 in, with Connor Punnett and Charlie Dodaro getting the assists. Grizzlies got on the board 9:20 in as Luke Salem skated around the Idaho net, and he found John Gillott out in front. Gillott gets his first pro goal. He had 15 goals in 4 seasons at Holy Cross College, including 7 last year in 37 games. Salem and Gratton with the assist. For Salem, that's his 2nd assist of the season. And for Gratton, that's his first of 2 assists on the night. He now has 3 assists through 5 games on the season. Idaho led 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Both teams had 9 shots in the first period. In the second frame, Idaho outshot Utah 12-6, but oddly enough, I think the Steelheads had about the last 10 shots of the second period. Brendan Hoffman scored 16:28 in. That turned out to be the game winner. It's his 3rd of the year. Nick Canati and Thomas Bergsland picked up the assists. Grizzlies got a 5-on-3 power play early in the third period as Connor Punnett got a knee minor. Some people here at Maverik Center had believed and hoped that it would be a 5-minute major, but it was just a minor penalty. And so that gave Utah 5-on-3 for 33 seconds, and Utah capitalized as Lepster got his 4th of the year with Gratton and Hanson Bucata getting the assist. Now about Aiden Hanson Bucata, he has 4 assists in 2 games as a Grizzly. Utah had a couple power plays after that. In fact, they had one in particular as Charlie Dodaro got a slashing minor, 17:05 in. Grizzlies had some chances, but just couldn't find the back of the net. Utah had 3 power play shots on the night. They were 1 for 3 on the power play. The penalty kill is really what kept the Grizzlies in. Once again, a perfect 6 for 6 on the penalty kill, and that gave the Grizzlies a chance at the end of the game. But once Dodaro came out of the penalty box, and it was pretty soon after that, he got the puck in the offensive zone, got around Aiden Hansen-Bukata, and he scored on an empty net with 46 seconds left in regulation as Idaho took a 4-2 lead, and that's how it ended up. Shots were pretty close to even, but Idaho with a 29-23 edge in the shot count. Idaho had an 8-7 edge in the third period. As we mentioned before, it was really the penalty kill, which has been a bright spot for the Grizzlies over the first 5 games of the season. The only power play goal they've allowed was a 4-on-3 overtime goal that was scored by Atlanta in Game 2 of the regular season. Otherwise, Grizzlies have been perfect on the penalty kill. They're perfect on the 5-on-4 PK, and that's certainly a big bright spot. If the Grizzlies play like that on the penalty kill, they're going to stay in a ton of games. Face-off battle looked like the Grizzlies won that one by a margin of 1. Scoring chances, Grizzlies had 16, and Idaho had 18. So 18-16 on the scoring chances in favor of the Steelheads. Grizzlies probably a couple too many giveaways. They had 10 on the night, and Idaho only had 5. Once again, Reed Lebster. You talk about him scoring another goal tonight. He had 4 goals in the 2-game series against the Steelheads, and he was just outstanding. Oddly enough, Idaho did score 4 goals tonight, but nobody's got a multiple-point game, as it was a very balanced scoring attack. And without Ty Pelton-Bice, who's out with a 9-game suspension, this is just Game 2 of those 9. And without Mitch Wall, who's serving the first of a 2-game suspension, that's going to be how Idaho wins games this season, is with a very balanced scoring attack. And Nick Port certainly showed up big. Pearson and Hoffman delivered a lot of big hits. And Idaho really did it with a balanced attack and a solid performance by Nolan Meyer, whose record goes to 3-1 on the season. Dryden McKay in net for the Grizzlies. He saved 25 of 28 as the 4th goal that was scored by Idaho was on an empty net. So 25 of 28 for Dryden McKay. His record falls to 0-1-1 on the season. Actually, I got that wrong on McKay. Math is hard sometimes. McKay is now 1-1-1 on the year, or 1-2 through 3 games on the season. I can't even read it when it's right in front of me. We had some fun here this evening. Grizzlies home opener, and as we mentioned before, they finish the franchise history with a 15-14-0-2 record in home openers. Don't forget, we got a lot of hockey here at Maverik Center next week, as Peter Tischke and the Jacksonville Icemen will be in town. It's going to be a 3-game series next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, October 29th, 30th, and 31st. That'll just about wrap things up. Let's quickly see if we can go through the 3 stars of the game. 3rd star for Idaho is Nick Ports, who had 1 goal and he was a +1. Ports is the 3rd star. Nolan Meyer is the 2nd star. He saved 21 of 23 in net. And the number 1 star is Brendan Hoffman, scored what turned out to be the game winner, 16:28 into the 2nd period. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 36 minutes in front of a big crowd of 5,761, it's the Idaho Steelheads defeating the Utah Grizzlies 4-2, as Utah got goals from John Jalot, who picked up his first professional goal, and Reed Lebster gets his 4th goal in this 2-game series. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream. That's to someday find a way to get to the National Hockey League. Tonight, Idaho's dreams came true. They won 4-2. Grizzlies' record falls to 2-1 on the season. Idaho's record goes to 3-2. Next broadcast is next Wednesday, 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off as the Grizzlies take on the Jacksonville Icemen. Until then, I'm Tyson Whiting, and you've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.